Hey everybody. Hey Ruel, how are you doing?
Hello, Richard. I am doing fantastic. How are you doing, my friend?
I am doing okay. My foot is much better. Much better. Still not quite there. But
Okay.
of course, I finally get a doctor's appointment scheduled for Thursday of last week. And of course, I wake up Thursday morning and it's like, oh, it feels totally fine. It doesn't feel
Oh,
like there's anything wrong with it. Of
oh.
course. And
Yep,
so,
yep.
am I going to pay a copay to go all the way in there and for them to say, it's fine. What are you doing? And so I
Yeah.
canceled. And then, of course, the next day I woke up and it's got the thing again.
Oh my
The weirdest thing
goodness.
happened is I was sitting on the couch and it was freezing because when it gets hot, Jen turns on the AC like there's no tomorrow, and then I have to
Uh,
bundle up, which is ridiculous. But I don't know why. It's not a very manly thing, but man, I get cold so easy. Whereas
yeah.
she just can weather any Arctic storm. But I had my feet under the dog for warmth, and when I pulled my foot out to get up, I felt
Yeah.
this really strange pop, kind of like two suction cups pulled apart. That's what
Oh,
it felt like in my foot right here.
okay.
And
That
I
doesn't
never
sound
felt
good.
anything like that in my life. It wasn't like cracking a knuckle or
Yeah.
or your spine or anything. It literally just um
Oh, wow.
and but it and I'm still mostly fine. I would say at this point probably 90% back to normal. Jen is pretty confident that that moment is when kind of like Riggs in Lethal Weapon. He
Oh,
pops his his shoulder back into the
yeah.
socket. That it was something like that with the tendons, that it finally
Yeah.
snapped back into position, and I'm probably fine now. But I've got some raw sore spots, so I
Oh my
think I'm
gosh.
over it. But it still
Okay.
lingers, and what I'm
Yeah.
really worried about is what if it's one of those things you hear about where, oh yeah, it's healing in the wrong position. And,
Yep.
and you'll have a
Yep.
clubfoot for the rest of your life if you don't do something. So I'm still
Yeah.
thinking that maybe I should go see a doctor.
So
Maybe.
you're able to put weight on it and walk around
Yeah,
okay
yeah, yeah, yeah,
again?
totally.
Okay.
It's let's see. What if I do this? Oh, actually, yeah. If I squeeze like this, I kind of feel I don't know, a dagger of pain. But it's,
Oh,
whereas before I felt that pretty much all the time whenever any pressure. Now I actually have to put a fair bit of pressure. But there is still
yeah.
something there. I don't know if it's just,
Oh man. Yeah.
sore and abused or abraded, or if there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Kabuki Kid says healing the wrong position is only a bone thing. I don't know. I don't know if it was a
Okay.
bone thing. I should have gone in and gotten X-rays and all of that. But I just would
Yeah.
have felt so silly. That morning it felt totally fine. But then
Yeah.
the next day
Yeah.
it did not with that weird pop thing.
And of course, and that's like the Murphy's law of
Of
pains and
course.
stuff. You show up, it's like, oh, it's fine now. Yeah, I've been there. I told you that my foot started hurting right after yours, right?
Oh,
I
really?
told you that. Yeah, so it was weird. Like after you told us that story, I was like, okay. And then the very next day, my foot started hurting, and
Oh.
I felt like I pulled something or whatever. And here's the thing. Michelle and I, we had tickets to go see Alicia Keys at the Greek Theater. We were really
Ooh.
excited. I had to go on crutches that night because I could not put weight on my right foot. And it was like killing me. But here's the thing. I didn't know this, but if you show up on crutches, and folks don't take advantage of this, but if you show up on crutches at a concert,
Yeah.
they will put you in the ADA section, the accessible section, which we found out was super close to the stage. And
Wow.
yeah, I mean, it just worked out that way. And I was a fan of Alicia Keys. I enjoyed her music, but after seeing that show, I was totally blown away. Michelle and I, we were literally mesmerized. That she is just a phenomenal talent, an amazing performer, and it was like a really nice ray of sunshine after all the stuff we've been going through with the plumbing issues and whatnot. So
Which you're still
that
going through, right?
yeah, I'm still going through the plumbing issues, but it is what it is. And then like a couple of days later, my foot is like back to normal. So it was just one of those random, yeah, like 3 days of just pain and like, oh, okay, yeah, the joys of getting older. You just have random pain sometimes.
It is a joy,
Yeah.
he said
Um,
ironically.
yeah.
Um,
Hey, hello to everyone in chat. Thanks for
Hi,
hanging
everybody
out.
in chat. Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome to the 50th freaking episode of this show. We have done this. Well, no, I say
Yeah.
I have done this 50 times. Somebody else
Yeah.
has done it 49 times.
49 times. Yeah, I missed that. Well, I think Shay came
Yeah.
in to pinch hit that one time.
Yeah.
What happened to me? That was I sick or what was going on with that one?
I think maybe it was a convention. Maybe. And
yeah.
I think it was. You were at a convention, and we had
Yeah,
hoped
that's
you
right.
would have internet that would be up to snuff, and you didn't. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's what it was. And so Shay took over. So
And
yeah,
that's when we were doing it every
for me,
week, and we're
50,
like, oh,
yeah.
we're not going to put it off. We'll just keep doing it every week. Now it's not, now we're a bit more flexible because we're old. We're 50.
Yeah,
we're starting to
pains
have
in our
foot
feet.
problems on the show.
Oh, thank you for joining us, everybody. Good to see you here. This is the R&R pre-show, show number 50 or 49 for myself. We've got a good one coming up real soon. But if you're new to the show, and we do have some first-timers, welcome. We like to hang out for a little while, answer questions, and do some shenanigans, as you said in the tweet, which is definitely the fun part of the show.
I had to look up how to spell
top
that.
10
That is a weird word.
It is.
No.
Yeah.
Shenanigans. There's a D in there, surprisingly, if I recall correctly.
There is a D in there, really?
Yep, I might be getting it wrong now, but I trust the spell checker. But yes, welcome to new folks and first-time chatters. Also, thank you to Fidelia for resubbing yet again. 11 months you've been with us, Fidelia84.
Wow,
nice. By the way, folks, if you are new, there are some definite reasons to subscribe, which, if you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, is totally free. I don't think we've given this spiel for a while. So how better to celebrate the 50th episode than to try to claw money out of people's pockets? Except it's not your pocket. It's Jeff Bezos' pocket. If you have an Amazon Prime account, you can use that to subscribe to the show, which, unlocks more bonus features. You can see we got a little slider up there, and you get a bunch of stuff. You get one of those cute little avatars down at the bottom of the screen. You get discounts on Rahdo merch. You get you can have revealed where the secret word is. You get all kinds of fun stuff. So anyway, though, advertisement for ourselves over. Unless did I forget something? I don't think so.
I think that's good. Yeah, that's a great spiel. And yeah, again, folks, you get a lot of benefits by subscribing here or your Patreon or YouTube. Plenty of ways to support the channel. We do appreciate every single bit. So
exclusive run-throughs too. I forgot. Every month, a new exclusive run-through as well. Right, so... okay, so hello everybody, Kabuki, Bodhi, AG Fox, Frank Tries, too many people. Hello everybody. Welcome to the show. We are going to be doing our top 10, I was about to say we're doing our top 10 roll and writes, but that's something we have to figure out because we're not. We're doing our top 10 rand and writes, which is what I'd like to call it, become my limited programming background where rand is an actual command for a randomizer, but nobody will know what that means. Obviously, it's roll and writes and flip and fills, but that's ridiculously long. And I'm curious, what do you think, audience? My inclination is to say, screw it, roll and write. Even if there's no dice, it's still a roll and write. It's close enough. Can we just agree communally that just covers any kind of game where you have to write stuff down based on some form of a randomized seed? I don't know.
I agree. Roll and writes is fine. And you know what? If you go to BGG, there actually is not a roll and write category.
Oh, that's right.
Mechanisms. I think they call it paper.
They call it pencil and paper.
Like pencil and paper, yeah. Which to me, I prefer roll and writes. I get the pencil and paper thing, but there's got to be some kind of element or part that talks, that we randomize or whatever, whether it's cards or dice or whatever.
That's pretty much it. Cards or dice, usually. There must be a few other things I'm not thinking of.
Fem Sensei says, I think there's a big difference between a roll and write and a flip and write. Interesting.
I understand the fundamental difference between a deck of cards and a die, in that the deck of cards, you can count cards and there's a fixed number, and whereas a die is unique every time. But to me, that is not an insignificant difference, but it's for driving by at 50 miles an hour. It's, hey, every round some random stuff comes up and you deal with it. Whether it's a die or a drawn card, it's close enough to me, I think.
I think so too. That's where I fall in this whole debate or whatever.
Yeah.
Corthay says roll and write works for them. Yes. Let's see. 2 rolls can come up with the same results. Fem Sensei says that's true.
Yeah.
Frank says I like roll and write, and it's become standard. Otherwise, I'm all for write and play. Ooh, write and play I've not heard of. That's interesting.
Right.
As well.
I
do like the
that's
roll
a good
and
one.
write.
It's unfortunately too late. The ship has sailed. Where was that suggestion 4 years ago when Gone Shown Clever was blowing up?
Oh, yeah. Kabuki Kid, they say, I stick with random and write.
Yeah.
I do like
or
the
just random right.
Random right.
Kind of combine it all into one. I get that, but I think the ship has sailed. I think it's too late. There are some things I'm sure I can't think of any off the top of my head, phrases that are totally wrong and it should have been another thing, but society deemed it, nope, this is what we call this thing, whether you like it or not. So, suffice to say, folks, we will be doing it. There will be some cards on the list, and it won't be 100% wall-to-wall dice randomizers. I mean, although we easily could have, and we did talk about that. Should we just limit it solely to dice? But I don't know. I mean, that meant there were some really cool ones that I wouldn't have gotten to talk about.
Yeah, that's how I felt too. I wanted the card ones in there as well. But we all know what we're talking about, and you can figure it out. Hey, these are rolling rights and or flip and fills or whatever. But it's all under the same umbrella. We'll preface
the show with that too. We'll
make
that clear,
absolutely.
Well, cool. Well, before we do that, we do a bunch of other stuff, including giving stuff away. You want to make one person a very happy owner of the Fog right now?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, let's do that.
All
Folks,
right,
we are drawing for the Fog, which was our sponsor last week. And we are going to be giving away a copy of the game to one lucky person. Look at all those names on the wheel. Nice.
Yes. Although, fewer than normal. What was your secret? The secret word was shoes. And you did it, and then you realized halfway through, crap, I missed my window to do it, and you just kind of like crowbarred it into Cubitos, right?
Yeah, that's
By
right.
talking about look, they're putting on their clothes and their shoes. You did something like that. That was
we were doing the top 10 race games. So I was wanting to do something, probably the game before, where I wanted to talk about putting on my fast shoes, right? But I totally blew it. And I was like, oh no, now I got to figure out, okay, I'm just going to jam it into.
Oh, that's right. You talked about how, hey, the Cubitos, they look like SpongeBob's with their little suspenders and their little shoes. I think is what you said.
So did people miss that? Did a lot of people miss it?
We had a smaller turnout than normal, and we had I would say, a fairly high people directly requesting. Because again, folks, if you subscribe and you can't find the secret word, just direct message me and I'll tell you.
Nice.
So people have an even bigger chance to win as soon as I click, which I'm doing right now after saying thank you, Sea Otter, for resubscribing. Hello. And let's go. Sea
Otter's got a question too. We'll take care of that later. Folks, again, if you have questions for us, folks, start it with a question mark and we'll get to it during our Q&A section, usually after the main show. Okay, the winner is...
Oh, wow. That was, I don't know if folks can see it. I'm on a relatively big monitor. It was a pixel away from Remus. I'm so sorry, Remus. But Alfredo Ferrero. Congratulations, Alfredo. I will get in touch with you after the show and get your details and whatnot so that you can get on the list for it. Congratulations.
Congrats,
it looks
Alfredo.
Really good.
And Tibby Ballou said they missed the secret word a bunch last time, so they rewatched the show like 5 times to try to get the secret word. Again, folks, we appreciate the support. We love that you watch the show. But again, if you want to subscribe, you can just ask Richard.
Tibby Ballou is a subscriber.
Oh, so that's awesome.
Tibby Ballou, I believe. I forget. Did Tibby Ballou break down? I remember. I think we had a bit of back and forth, but I think Tibby has no. I will find it myself. Attitude. Yeah. A lot of people do.
Kudos.
The number of times I see actual subscribers saying, I can't find it, but then they don't ask. And they're like,
okay.
Help me, help you.
Yeah. Help me, help you. Yes. Oh my gosh. Didn't we talk about Tom Cruise movies recently?
Yeah, I think we did a top 3 a couple of months ago.
Jerry Maguire
and
on there?
I believe Jerry Maguire made the short list, and it probably made the real list.
Yeah.
It was Collateral. Maybe it wasn't Jerry Maguire. I don't remember now. I just remember Collateral, that you came in hard for Collateral, and I could not stand against it.
I love that movie. I think it's so underappreciated, and gosh, I'll have to go back and watch that episode now. Now I need to see what our top 3 Tom Cruise movies were.
Indeed, because we did write that in stone forever.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's one topic covered, but as always, folks can use channel points to unlock things, and I think we were all caught up. No, we don't. We have 2 Ruel Ranks requests from Scott O'Brien and To Live and Dice in L.A. So, folks, it is time for Ruel to try to rank some games. We're going to do a little bit of a mini review section. Let me pull up the Gaviola library.
Awesome. And a little shout out to Live and Dice in LA. We got to have a brunch this weekend. Her and her family, Michelle and I joined them, so that was wonderful. Thank you to Live and Dice in LA.
Cool.
And let's go to my collection.
All right. Well, I've gone to it. Oh, you're reading it yourself locally now.
Yep.
All right. Well, what am I putting this on the screen for like a chump?
Well, why is my BGG not coming up on screen?
You could look at the screen I just shared.
Yeah, maybe I should just. Oh, okay. I hope. Okay, fingers crossed. Again, folks, I'm in an Airbnb. I don't know what's going on the internet right now. As long as y'all can hear me.
Oh my gosh, yes.
That's okay.
Somebody did say earlier, I think, that you were a little out of sync, which I just,
man.
you know,
okay.
but I hear you fine.
Okay.
I see you fine.
Okay, cool. I'm not gonna sweat it. I'll just look on your screen. Let me just look on the screen.
So do you like any of these you want to rank? And remember, you're going to do 2, so we need to pick 5, and then the voters will pick 2.
Wow. Why don't we do the hotness then? Let's do wormholes.
Wormholes is all about the hotness. Okay.
Yeah.
You like any of these other ones? I'm sorry, what?
Keepers.
All right. Oh, yes, I remember you talking about that a few months ago.
Yeah.
Right.
Nasi, a Coyote and Crow dice game. That's not even out yet. Can we do the game? Can I rank stuff that's not even out yet?
Sure.
Okay.
You can do it, buddy.
Yeah, this would actually be perfect for the theme of the show because that is a roll and write.
Oh.
Nasi. Okay.
All right.
And let's scroll down a little bit. I'm not ready to give my final opinion on Dead Reckoning yet. I need to play it a few more times.
What about prehistories?
Prehistories. Yeah, let's do that. That's and why that says 2020? Is that? I thought that was a brand new.
No, it did. It came out early, and it just recently got picked up for wider distribution by.
That's right.
I think it was 25th Century Games.
25th Century.
It had been printed, I think, just only locally in France prior to that.
That's right.
I believe that's
because it's Bernie. I forget his name. The French designer. Welcome to.
That's Mr. Welcome to. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, there's another roll and write right there. Trek. Well, maybe we shouldn't do that because it might be on someone's list.
I will spoiler and say it's not on mine.
Okay, Planet Flipper, the Total Conflict Insurance, that's my good friend Daryl. That's his game.
Okay.
It's a 10 in my book, folks, but I'm totally biased. Let's scroll down just a little bit. How many more do we need?
That's it for that page. We just need one more. So let's go to the previous page.
Okay.
And scroll down to the bottom. Whee!
Okay. Whee! Wow, there's a lot of games here. Planted, a game. Did we do Planted last time? I think we put it on the list, but no one chose.
I believe that's correct. You're going to keep on pushing the Planted agenda?
I'm going to keep. That's Phil Walker Harding, the PWH. Praise be. Right. Of course, I'm going to be pushing for Mr. Walker Harding.
Then start voting, folks.
Okay.
2 of these. We're going to get a little micro review from Ruel, and then afterwards, I will correct the record if he doesn't get it right.
Always my favorite part of the review. Okay.
Well, I am the first R in the R&R.
You are. You are the first and only R.
No, I think I'm only 50% of the R's. I put in my one measly vote for what it's worth, since as the organizer, I can't use my channel points because I have infinite channel points.
Oh, that's right. People can use their channel points again, right?
Yes. Channel points or bits to push your agenda if you really want to help Ruel talk about Planted.
Yeah.
But so far, no surprise, it's all wormholes all the time.
Wormholes. Yeah. Okay.
Those wormholes go all the way down.
Yeah.
And nobody wants Nasi or Keepers.
Okay.
Yet.
Well, okay, there's one for Keepers.
People could be lying in wait, but...
Yeah. Here we go. Yeah, wait till the last 20 seconds or so, and we'll start seeing the sniping going on.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, my wife is running an online sale for her glasswork on Facebook, and it's an online auction thing, invite only. And she was supposed to close it this morning, and everything was going fine. And she was supposed to close a half an hour before, so the next person can jump into the queue.
Yep.
And 35 minutes before, somebody came in and sniped on half of her auctions.
Oh, wow.
And she's like, I have to deal with all this now because I don't even know what all she had to do, but she was totally freaking out. When she got this big epic super snipe across like 6 different lots in her auction. But she made it through to the end, but they did kind of, maybe you're really supposed to close this a half an hour early. And did you see what happened? She said. Right, but I don't think there's going to be any sniping here. I think it's Wormholes and Planted are going to take it. It'd be pretty hard to come into for prehistories. I voted for prehistories, but say love you. Prehistories is really good. I liked it a lot. Right. And it's on Kickstarter, or not on Kickstarter, on GameFound right now, a Prehistory Space Explorer double feature, expansions for both, which I only just found out this morning when I was doing research for crowdsourcery, and I'm like, wow, I had no idea. So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're here to talk about.
I enjoyed Space Explorers. I thought that was a terrific little game.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what the expansion does to it.
I didn't even look. I mean, they really were in the video. They were focusing more on the prehistory expansion, which had new types of hunting party and all that. Let's see, I think both winners are on the previous page. So let's go back to page 3.
Okay.
Oh no, Planet was just right there. Well, okay, we'll go back to Planet in a second. But first, Wormholes was the big wiener, and Ruel,
the wiener.
Tell us all about Wormholes.
Wormholes, folks. So I was excited about this one because of the name at the very top, Peter McPherson.
Yes.
The designer of Tiny Towns. I saw that immediately. I was interested in. I see a sci-fi game. Of course, I'm getting excited. I see those hex tiles. All of a sudden, I'm like super excited because I'm thinking, sci-fi 4X. But it's not a 4X game, folks. It is a pick up and deliver game.
Very much.
And Michelle and I, we jokingly called it Space Uber or Space Lyft. That's what it is, basically. You are flying around from planet to planet, collecting passengers, trying to drop them off in their destination. And what you do is on your turn, it's very simple. You're taking one action. You can move one space, but where it really takes off, literally takes off, is when you use the wormholes. And that's when you can teleport from one side of the galaxy to another. You're dropping wormholes. You can use your opponent's wormholes too, but that's going to cost you, I think, money or victory points or something. It's been a little while since I've streamed. We streamed it earlier this summer. It just came out. Though they had pushed the launch date because of ongoing shipping issues, but
it's only just now coming available.
Yeah, it just came out this last week.
So, I didn't realize that. No wonder. Yeah, it won the.
They wanted it. Yeah, they wanted it for Gen Con, but unfortunately, shipping again was not in the plans. Didn't get it out there. But anyways, it's a wonderful game. I would put it more towards the gateway side as far as weight. It's not too complex or heavy, but it is really a smooth running game. It's very quick to play. Now I'm going to say this about the game. Michelle and I enjoyed it too. I think this game will shine at 3 or 4 because there's going to be more things opening up. You can be able to use more wormholes. It's a little slow burn at start with 2 players, but I think that would ramp up with more players. But it's a terrific game. It's set collection. You're trying to collect the same planets or different planets depending on what your goals are. Overall, I really enjoy it. It's not good as far as Peter McPherson's concerned. I don't think it's his best game, but I mean it's hard to top Tiny Towns, folks. That is an awesome game. But, hey, it's not like he fell off the radar. He's still producing good games. This one is rock solid to me. I'm going to give it a 7.26. 7.26, folks. Rock solid game. I really enjoy it, and that is Wormholes. What do you think about it?
I would agree with that. I would probably put in a 7, and for the same reason you mentioned. I think, well, first of all, Jen and I are not fans of pick up and deliver at all. Just the idea of, I've got a little avatar, and I've got to move them slowly across the board. Yep. And then move them slowly somewhere else. Just, kill us now kind of thing. And so I went into this a bit nervous, but I wanted to check it out because Tiny Towns was so amazing in my top 50 of all time. And I got to say, if I liked Pick Up and Deliver, this would be in my top 100 games, easily. Yeah. With the caveat that there's one problem, and you said it. Basically, you only get to move a little bit every turn. You have very slow ships in this game. But for free, anytime you want, you can drop a wormhole off. And I think ultimately you have 5. And so you're making a network of wormholes all over the place. By the second half of the game, this game is phenomenal, even as a 2-player game. Because even though I have incredibly slow ships, it's incredibly fun and puzzly to try to figure out, right, I have to get from here to there on the other side of the galaxy. What combinations of my wormholes and your wormholes am I going to use? Because then I have to give you victory points every time I use yours. Or do I make more time to build my own? And are you going to bother when, you can just piggyback off of mine? Now, there's no 2 ways about it. This game is going to be better with more. With more people putting wormholes down, 2 things happen. One is like, do I take Ruel's wormhole or do I take Michelle's wormhole? Because you built them right next to each other. Who's doing better? So it's just going to be more interesting interaction between players, positive interaction, in much the same way that I love in Lords of Waterdeep, when you get those particular event cards that say, hey, take 3 clerics and then give one to one of your opponents. And everybody's like, give it to me, give it to me. I love that. And this game is that from start to finish. But in a 2-player game, it takes a long time, much longer, for wormholes to actually be there. I wish there was some kind of 2-player rule of, hey, precede the board with a bunch of other wormholes or something. Plus, with only one other person I'm sharing with, it's just not going to be as cool. So it's a brilliant game at a higher player count. It's a good game, a good 7 as a 2-player. And so I think, completely agree with that.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, fun game, but yeah, I think it really is. Though you need those 3 or 4 players to see it shine.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay,
All right,
so
and
we're
let's
in
see. And
agreement
then
on
our
that.
other one was Planted, a game of nature and nurture from Buffalo Games, a relatively new publisher, I believe. I know I did a space game from them a couple of years ago. Oh, but it's Phil Walker Harding, the PWH or PWH.
PWH,
Yep.
praise be. Big fan of his. And okay, so the easiest way to explain this is Planted is Sushi Go with resource management. That's how I've been selling it. It's got card drafting, set collection, but you're also managing your resources in order to grow your plants. So the object of the game, you are planting plants in your home or house plants and whatnot. It's sort of like what was that game, Verdant, that just came out?
Verdant.
Verdant, or is it Verdant?
No, it's Verdant. I was
Verdant.
correcting you to say it wrong because I still can't stop myself from saying it wrong. But okay, it's like Verdant how?
Verdant, theme-wise and without the spatial puzzle.
Oh, okay.
So you're still trying to collect resources to grow certain plants every round. You can grow up to 6. There's the resource there. What was totally blew me away, people in my Discord community said, hey, there's a new game at Target by Phil Walker Harding. I'm like, I had no idea. So I rushed down to Target, and it was on sale for $20. For $20, this is phenomenal. Like it has wooden components, screen printed components, plastic pieces. Like the components are just out of this world. And then the gameplay is like any other Phil Walker Harding game, very streamlined, very smooth, very accessible. And yet there's still enough strategy depth where veteran gamers like yourself and myself will appreciate. So every round you're drafting cards and getting resources.
Standard Sushi Go style. You said Sushi Go-ish,
exactly.
Right?
So
keep one,
you
hand the rest to your neighbor, yeah.
Exactly. And then you're going to play a card and then get resources most of the time. And then sometimes you will go into the middle and grab a new plant. And then that new plant, at the end of every round, you can use all the resources you've gathered to grow your plants. Each plant can be grown once per round.
The plants you had drafted.
Yes.
Okay.
And then those plants, every time you grow, you're going to get victory points. If you grow a plant fully, you'll get the full points, etc. I think it's like 6 rounds. At the end of it, some of the items that you've drafted are special items that give you end game scoring goals at the very end, which is really neat. And then other plants just give you, straight up victory points and whatnot. It's a wonderful game. I love this whole nature theme that's been going around the last couple of years, basically since Wingspan, right? The nature theme, very easy for
that's
non-gamers.
interesting. I wouldn't have thought of that, but you're right.
I think so. I feel like Wingspan sort of kicked it off, right?
Yeah.
This whole nature kick. I'm all for it. I've had enough of Vikings and sci-fi and zombies and whatnot. I mean, I still love that stuff. Don't get me wrong, but I love this trend of nature. And Planted is a winner in my book. I love this. Michelle and I played it several times. And actually, one of our friends here in chat, I think he was here, James Brazil. He's a very active member of my Discord community. He came up with a solo variant, which works really well. I was so happy about that. So, folks, Planted. I'm going to give this one. It's a good one. I don't think it's quite an 8. It's not like Sushi Go level, but I'm going to give it a rock solid 7.84. Okay, there it is, 7.84, just under an 8.
Well, I have not played it. I was relying totally on you. It sounds very, very cool.
It's enjoyable. It
really is.
And it's quick playing. It's 20 to 30 minutes. You're going to fly right through the game. Does it have staying power? I'm not sure. I think you're gonna when you eventually get your copy, you're gonna be blown away by the components. Like the list price on this is $30. You can get it at Target for $20-$25, and it's like it punches way above its weight as far as components.
Well, maybe I just need to walk down. I can't walk down. Hobble down to a Target and pick up a copy myself. Since I live in America now.
Hey, at Target you could do a drive up delivery, right? You just drive up.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, that hasn't stopped. All right, well,
this,
there you go.
This episode is not brought to you by Target, folks. Not yet. We would love that. I would love that sponsor.
Oh, that would be a heck of a sponsor. Oh, my goodness, yes.
Right.
All right, so I will mark both of those Ruel ranks done, and let's see if any more requests have come in. No requests have come in. People are hoarding their Rahdo bucks. All right. Mm-hmm. I expected on this 50th anniversary we do some old favorites, but apparently not. However, we do still have some Q&A that we did not get to last week, so let's just go on ahead and pull those up, right?
Okay.
All righty. Let's see here.
Cool.
Okay. Well, because of course they were things that we were discussing last week. This is I think the second time Kabuki Kid has asked, "Have I watched all?" Oh no, I said I've watched some of Sandman. Kabuki wanted to know if I watched all of it. Yes, we did. We finished it. It was great. I certainly hope there's a second season, but. Honestly, the second half of the season did not enchant us quite as much as the first half. The first half really focuses on the supernatural elements of this world. The second half focuses more on the natural elements of this world. Let the supernatural. And that was all very fine. Jin got super creeped out. There was some creepy stuff in the first half, but the second half gets like... Okay, this is not like weird fantasy Far Out's creepiness. This is more like Silence of the Lambs creepiness type stuff. So Jin really wasn't quite as excited in the second half as she was in the first half. So overall, kind of a mix, but I mean, it was certainly brilliantly done, and it definitely leaves you wanting more. Although, also, if it never gets a second season... it doesn't end on a, oh my gosh, this cliffhanger kind of thing. It just opens up, hey, look, there are threads we could follow, but it's also, I think, functions pretty well as a standalone if it doesn't get picked up again. Have you watched it yet? Did you do your duty and try to push the Netflix numbers up?
I did not, unfortunately. Again, as much as I want to watch it, like, I'm dealing with all the plumbing issues, and it's just like totally, it's killing me, folks. So... Yeah, I will get around to it eventually. Next question. Scott's got a question.
Okay.
We were talking about racing games last week, folks. Do you consider Tales and Games, The Hare and the Tortoise, a race game? It sounds similar to Long Shots, but with cards instead of dice. Maybe it is too much betting and not enough racing. Now, I have not played The Hare and the Tortoise. I know what game you're talking about, Scott. But we did talk about how Ready, Set, Bet did not make my list. As much as I love that game, to me, that's more of a betting game than a racing game. So that's why I left it on my list, off my list. Richard, have you played The Hare and Tortoise?
No, I have to be honest. I mean, betting on racing things is just not something Jen and I are particularly interested in, so I haven't played any of them. I've never played Camel Cup, and I'm sure it's lovely, but I just don't particularly care to.
Yeah. Cool. Goblin asks, what's a show you loved but hated or was disappointed by the ending of? I guess the easy... Well, no, I can't answer because I never watched the end of Game of Thrones. That's
an incorrect answer because the final season of Game of Thrones is great.
Yeah, and
I will grant it's a bit rushed. They could have let things breathe a little bit more. But, I mean, to me, it felt like, okay, yeah, things are going fast. Because the entire the final season, and really the season prior, is the final act of a big overarching thing. And you don't want a final act of a story to stick around. There were some of the most amazing moments in all of Game of Thrones in the final season. And I was not disappointed by the way things worked out for characters. I thought all that stuff worked out quite... It was all definitely... supported by what had come before. Some people say, hey, things that happen come out of left field. Okay, if you feel that way, you haven't been paying attention. You have been hit by the same propaganda that the people who live in this world, the propaganda that they were followed, you fell for it too. When in fact, no, there was kind of no other way things could have gone. I loved the finale. I mean, that one moment, the only time in my life I was so wrapped up and swept up, I was sitting on the couch and this particular moment happened and I literally jumped out of my couch, slid all the way across my living room to be within like this far of the screen. I was so wrapped up and I can remember that moment right now.
Wow.
Some people might guess what it is. I'm not going to say it because there are some people who haven't watched it because they have been misled into thinking it's terrible when it's not. So, the only thing I can think of, honestly, it's cool and artsy and all that, but I was not a fan of The Sopranos ending. Is the obvious one to me.
That's probably what I was going to hit on too. Sopranos. Yeah, I see where they were trying to go with it. I felt, I don't know, it felt like almost like a cheap way to go out, sort of like it was. Like you said, it's artsy and like, it's all symbolic or whatever. It's like, you know what? Nah, I don't know. Really. And then someone had mentioned, I think it was Old Man Coaster mentioned the Seinfeld ending, the last episode.
The trial of Seinfeld, basically.
Yeah, that didn't. I didn't love Seinfeld, but I watched enough where like, okay, I'm gonna watch the final episode. And I was like, it didn't do anything for me. I was like, okay, okay,
it was fine.
Trial, whatever.
It was not great, but I didn't hate it. Yeah. It certainly seemed appropriate. It seemed like an appropriate ending. But I guess it was kind of weird to end on almost the equivalent of a clips show. Almost.
Right?
A clips show without the clips, basically.
You're right. Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, those are probably the only shows I can really think of.
Yeah. I mean, I see Kabuki Kid mentions Quantum Leap as being controversial. I don't understand that. Quantum Leap has one of the best finales of any show in history. It's just so perfect, except for a typo. There is a typo in the coda, but whatever, who cares? The the message it sends and what it portends for the characters is just beautiful and incredibly moving. I've always felt. But yeah, all I can think of is The Sopranos.
Yeah,
because honestly, that moment happened, and I thought, literally, did my TV just break? Did my cable just go out?
Yeah,
and then like, oh, no, there's credits.
Yeah, right?
Did I just lose cable for a second?
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is terrible. Millions of people are watching this. Did this happen? Did the internet get overloaded or something? I'm like, no, they were just being cool and edgy. I'm like, no.
And I think that was,
you're not a cool and edgy show. Sorry.
Yeah, and I think that's what it turned me off so bad, because it just felt like, was it David Chase or whatever, was like trying to pull the wool over our eyes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look, I surprised, I got you all. It's like, well, thanks, I guess. I was invested in the show now. It's like, right? Yeah, you're too cool for me, buddy,
I would have loved to have been in the Gaviola household where you just look at all this and ironically say, well, thanks, I guess.
Yeah.
That's perfect. That is the perfect response.
I might have been living with, at the time, with a couple of buddies of mine. We were living together, and we would have Sopranos Sundays, right? After we'd watch football, we'd watch Sopranos on HBO, and I think we might have sort of just been in shock during the last episode.
Oh, sure.
I really don't remember. Anyways, Kabuki Kid was asking about Meteor Man theories, or would that be too spoilery?
Oh, that is a reference to Lord of the Rings, and I don't think you can really talk about that. I think it's too soon.
Okay. Yeah, that is on my watch list. That's the one I want to watch next.
Yep.
Goblin asks, question for Jen.
Okay.
If I pay you money on Patreon or Twitch or wherever, that's international income for you. How does the tax work for you? I don't know if you want to answer that or not.
I don't have to go into particulars. It is a weird thing. Money that comes in through YouTube, ad subscribers and members and that's pretty much it. Because I created my YouTube account long before Rahdo Runs Through ever existed. I created it back when we were living in England. It is associated with England. And so the income I get through YouTube ends up in Ireland, oddly.
Oh.
And basically, that's kind of a pain for us because, we don't want to realize, money transfer fees and stuff like that. So what we do is, you know what I should do? I should actually have a link where you say, everybody go check out Revolut and use the Rahdo code so that I can get 50 credit and stuff like that. Revolut is was introduced to me by Paulo, my goose guy who lives in Portugal, because I pay him, and I used to just, direct transfer money, and his bank would do all kinds of really egregious fees for international currency conversion and stuff like that. So he switched to Revolut, and Revolut is basically an online-only bank. It is FDIC'd and also in somewhere in Europe, I forget. And but it's like basically trying to be the Uber of banking, effectively. Look, we only exist online, and because of that, there's no fees for nothing. You can send money to anybody in the world with no fees whatsoever. And so that's what we actually had to set up to be able to deal with our Irish income situation. But the rest, Jen and I, we are American and we are British. We carry 2 passports. So, but the Patreon and the meager Twitch money that comes in, that all just comes to America. We pay taxes on that. We pay a little bit of British taxes, and we don't want to pay American taxes, so that's why we use Revolut to kind of gift it to ourselves, and that's kind of the situation in a nutshell. But Revolut is very cool, and if I knew this was coming, I would have come up with a Rahdo recommend code, so if you people go and check it out, but I haven't done it.
You can always put it on the show notes, right, when it goes to YouTube.
Yes, I suppose I could. I guess you can... but nobody watches the extended. It's just these 50 or 60 people right now.
The hardcores. Okay. Yeah. We have one final question in the Q&A thing. Says Sea Otter says, Ruel, I haven't been here in a while and haven't heard your thoughts. But what is your opinion on Twilight Inscription?
Have you got you have it?
I have it, and I have not. Unfortunately, I have not played it. I cracked it open. I looked at it. It looks amazing, but I haven't played it yet.
Then you should have given it to Shay.
Didn't he get a copy?
No,
I thought
he did
got
not.
a copy in. He did not. He was supposed to.
He might have by now. I don't know.
Yeah. So we'll see. I bought this copy secondhand. A friend of mine picked up an extra copy at Gen Con, and I said, you know what? I can't wait for Fantasy Flight. Give me the copy. And sure enough, it's sitting right behind me right now. So.
I gotta. Why? What? I mean. Oh, okay. I know the answer. Plumbing.
Plumbing, yeah. I'm literally dealing every day with plumbers, contractors, insurance adjusters, insurance people, contractors, plumbers. Yeah, it's every day. It's just, it is what it is, and it's so mentally draining. And I've got other things I need to do that are, like paid work that I'm taking care of.
Right.
That I don't. Yeah, and it's like
but
I
for
get
fun
to the end
stuff
of the day.
Has to go to
for fun stuff. It's like I like the other day, like when I was talking about To Live in Nice in LA. We met up with them and their family, Michelle and I, and we actually got to play a game, which was great. But it was Project L, which I love. It's a really chill, simple game.
Yeah.
But that's about where my mental capacity is at right now. Twilight Inscription will have to wait until things have settled down here.
Yeah. Plus, I don't think you have a big enough table to play it on.
I don't. Yeah, it's so tiny here. I can fit maybe 2 of the maps on here, but there's four
there are 4
sheets. Yeah. So. Yep, so that's why we'll get around to it.
Oh, it's just
eventually,
taunting
folks.
you.
It really is. It's killing me not to be able.
I was going to make a Thor: Love and Thunder reference, but I don't want to spoil anything.
Oh man, that just showed up on Disney.
Yes, you haven't watched Thor: Love and Thunder yet?
No, I started the other day. This is how bad it is right now, Richard. I started the other day. I fell asleep. After 5 minutes. I was so worn out. I'm like, I gotta finish this. I love, it's. I heard it's everything that I would love about the movie.
Tired.
Yeah, that's how tired I was.
Yep. Correct me if I'm wrong. The plumbing itself is done, right?
Yeah.
It's just that they had to rip your house up, so it's repairing your house now.
Yeah. So it's all taking, putting the house back together basically, and then the process is the restoration company has their estimate, the insurance adjuster has their estimate, which is going to be a low ball, and they're trying to meet somewhere in the middle to pay for this whole job. And they have to try to get their schedules aligned. Like, I'm still waiting for them to meet each other and, get the stuff done. But it is what it is. That's the fun you get, folks. Of don't get plumbing issues, folks. That's what it comes out. That's the lesson learned. Do not have plumbing issues.
Yeah.
Hey, here's a question by Kabuki Kid. Do you watch Cobra Kai? Yes, I do. Have you started the new season yet? No, I have not. Did it come out yet already? Oh my gosh, I'm behind the time. Do you watch Cobra Kai?
No, I do not. I watched the first season. I thought, this is nice.
Yeah.
And then, that's fine. One season of this was enough. It did not compel. There was not enough there to compel me to come back for season 2. I've watched. One of my favorite YouTube channels is called Man of Recaps. So I'm keeping up with Cobra Kai because at the end of a season, he'll just do a recap for the entire season. Like, so that's what happened. Okay, nice. I don't think I need to watch that. I probably enjoyed this much more than watching that for whatever it is, 6 hours.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Someone was saying, okay, season 5 just came out a week ago. I need to watch that. Yeah, I love Cobra Kai. Michelle and I are big fans. It's the cheesy 80s fun, but done in a modern take, which we love. And I love how they flipped all the characters around. Johnny's sort of like the good guy. Daniel's sort of like the bad guy, or sort of iffy. Really appreciate what they did with that.
Yeah, I think my issue was I just have a lot less patience for teenage troubles than I used to.
I was gonna bring that up. Like, it's probably not totally something I love, but it's Michelle and I get a kick out of it. I think that's what it is. We really do get a kick out of it. It's fun. But yeah, let's continue here. Someone was talking about. I was thinking it was a board game stream. And we're talking about non-board games.
This is normally stuff comes at the end. Let's actually. Wait, has anybody requested anything? Hold on a second. Hey, we have a top 3. Okay, folks. One more thing before we get to the show. Old Man Coaster has requested a top 3. Sorry for being slow on the pickup, Old Man Coaster. Let's see here. New poll. What 3 shall we count to? Alrighty.
Yeah.
All right, folks. You know what you gotta do. Make suggestions for what you would like us to top 3ify. Yes. And not top 3 favorite students from Cobra Kai, because I can't do it. I just can't do it.
I was going to say top 3 Karate Kid movies.
Yeah. All right. Although, of course, it's going to take a little bit for people to start making requests.
Yeah. Now, Kabuki Kid asked, so does that hurt Stranger Things too then? So as far as your enjoyment,
that's a good question.
I love Stranger Things. Yeah, I really enjoyed Stranger Things.
I would say no, it didn't. It's interesting, really. Stranger Things, for the most part, for most of its run, has been preteen. And honestly, I find myself more compelled by preteen storylines than teenage storylines. Teenage storylines were, oh, this is the worst thing ever. And I'm so stupid because I just won't talk to anybody about it because I think I'm better than everybody. It turns out I just don't like teenagers. But cute, adorable scamp, Goonies-style preteens, them having problems, I find myself more compelled by because, okay, I get it. They're gonna have a harder time dealing with these things. The sense of threat they're under, the sense of powerlessness they have, because all they got is bikes. I find more ritually compelling again. I can't think of another word.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that new show on Amazon, too, that sort of riffs on Stranger Things.
Paper Girls.
Paper Girls, yes.
Yes.
Have you watched that?
I have watched the first 4 episodes, and I like it quite a bit.
Okay, cool. I had actually bought the graphic novel that had the first 6 issues or whatever. I gave that to Michelle. I don't think she read it, and I never read it. But then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, it's on Amazon now. Now we need to watch it instead. Okay, here's some ideas for top 3s.
All right, so we need 3 for them to choose one of.
Okay, top 3 most influential TV shows.
Okay, all right, that's one.
Top 3. Oh, okay. Here, let's do something different. Top 3 technological advancements. Corthane says that.
All right, that's an interesting one.
Interesting. And then let's see. Top 3 villains. It doesn't. Corthane gave that one.
All right.
I think this is a throwback to last week. Top 3 medieval weapons. Didn't we talk about like what is a mace?
No, I went back and watched afterwards, and people were arguing amongst themselves about what can and can't have a chain.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, if I recall correctly, you don't have a sword; you have a glaive. I believe is what somebody said. I think it's a glaive. I could be wrong about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I thought it was a sword. I thought this would be like a short sword because it's not like it's.
I could be wrong. It's I read all this stuff days ago. Yeah, I'm gonna leave medieval weapons off. Any game stuff, or is this gonna be a non-game topic for a change?
Let's see. Top 3 places to visit that have nothing to do there. That's funny. Any top 3 life accessories? No gaming stuff. Top 3 travel tips. Hey, I like travel tips.
All right,
that'd be a
cool.
One.
I'll do that one.
Top 3 travel tips. How many do we have so far?
We have 4. That's fine.
Okay. That fine? Okay.
All right, folks. You've got to pick one of these completely which is probably good because normally, what is it? I was going to say that if there's a game topic, that's what it will be. So we haven't been talking about games, so why start now on our 50th episode?
We've got plenty of game stuff coming up.
Yeah, we will be talking about a bunch of games right after we're done with this top 3.
Yeah.
All right. And
what do we have? Oh, villains, travel tips.
That's an odd choice. Yeah. I have to admit, I'm kind of glad technological advancements is lagging because honestly, I think that's the best one, and that is by far the hardest one.
I was gonna say that one is tough. Do we start with the wheel?
You have to consider the wheel. You have to consider. You have to compare the wheel and fire to the internet and television.
Yeah.
And pick 3. Yeah. And and the printing press and what do you call it? The compass. And geez Louise. Oh, and of course,
it's
now people start. Now that starts. And suddenly nobody wants travel tips anymore.
Come on,
go back to travel tips. That was gonna be a nice, easy one.
Oh my god.
I put in my 1 vote for travel tips. I've traveled a lot. I probably have a few if I think about it. I don't know if I've been to the 4 corners of the world, but I've been all around this great big world.
Yeah. Hey, quick behind the scenes question or the comment. Our friend that gives us the list, he said he sent you the wrong one.
What?
So check your email. He said he sent the correct one with the correct links. He just updated the links.
Because what he does is he just tells me, hey, these are the ones you're talking about that are yours, but he sends me links for you.
Yes.
So he said bad bit.ly links. Hold on.
Yes. So
let me find that.
He said he just sent you. This was 24 minutes ago. I just saw the message right now.
Woo! How exciting.
Yep.
Alrighty. Well, you never know what'll happen on a live stream.
Yeah.
So that means I've already got all the tabs set up.
Wow. There it is.
Let's see here. Okay, so the wrong links before. All right, well, I will just. All right, well then I'll have to copy and paste them as we go, I guess.
Okay.
All right, let me just. Yep, those are definitely different. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what this means, but we will see what we will see. All right.
Okay.
In the meantime, has the voting completed? Surely it has by now.
Yeah, it has to be complete. I didn't. Let me open up. I just
Oh,
closed my
most
Twitch
influential TV shows is
Okay.
the Wiener. And by the way, folks, can I recommend everybody use I've forgotten what the name of this is now. Since everybody's just looking at a screen full of the thing that
Oh,
every
yeah,
time you open a
yeah.
new tab, it basically donates to charity. What is this called? It's this thing right here. It's the picture of the little heart. And now I'm sharing personal stuff, which I probably shouldn't do. Oopsie. Let's see. Was there anything on there? Nope. They didn't see anything other than my default search engine is Google. That's all they saw. What is this
Okay.
called? Why can't I remember the name of this website?
I know you've talked about it before. I remember you talking about it.
Yeah, and the weird thing is, nowhere on here did they actually remind me of what the name of this is.
it's
That's
a Chrome
weird.
plugin, right?
Huh?
It's a Chrome plugin.
Yeah. Although it's basically, yeah. Well, anyway, it's neither here nor there. It gives me very pretty pictures every day.
Mm-hmm.
And people just got to look at it for a while. And that's driving me nuts. And I've been doing really well. Tab for a cause. Thank you.
Tab for a cause.
Thank you, Nerd20. Oh my gosh.
Nerd20
It's just weird. It doesn't say tab for a cause anywhere here in the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
It says, hey, Rahdo, great work on all your tabbing. I'm level 34. Apparently, my maximum tabs in one day was 67. Since I installed this a few months ago, I have opened 4,100 tabs.
Oh my god!
I've been a tabber for 127 days. I have opened over 4,000 tabs.
Does it tell you how much money you've raised by?
It tells you. I believe there is a way you can know if you're going for a specific. Because you can specify, I want this particular one, in which case it'll tell you in kind of a weird roundabout way. But I just say, hey, just give to everybody. So, and I've given fractions of cents to people by opening my 4,000 tabs. That's probably $4 I've thrown around. And it was no bucks before, so why not do it? But anyway, yes, influential TV shows. All right.
Now, before we get started, this made me laugh. Olvansky said top 3 tech. They say it's the wheel, screw, and TikTok. That made me laugh. Come on, TikTok folks, that was great. I agree with the first two. And yeah. So, but we're going to be talking about influential TV shows.
Influential TV shows.
Gosh.
All right. Well, folks, definitely interested in what you think. The first thing that pops into my head for no particular reason is MASH.
MASH. Whoa. That was a long-running show.
It was a long-running show. It was a traditional sitcom with a canned laughter that halfway through its run turned the canned laughter off.
Yes.
And so it was the first thing where, hey, you know what? We can just stand on our own. We don't have to do these tricks that the industry has literally been doing for decades.
Yeah.
It was socially conscious. Of course, it was in the 70s. A lot of shows were socially conscious at the time. So I don't know if MASH wins, but MASH certainly pops into my head. And of course, all I can think of is other 70s shows. The Jeffersons. Giving a voice to the African American experience, a very unique and specific African American experience, obviously.
Yeah.
But
I wouldn't say Okay, the one that I thought of, and this is a show that Michelle absolutely loves, and she got me really into it, and I started learning about it. Was I Love Lucy? I mean, talk about an influential show. That show, and again, if you never read anything about Lucille Ball, folks, you need to. If it was not for Lucille Ball, Star Trek would not exist.
Yep.
She went to bat for that show with her studio, with Desi Arnaz. They said, we're going to make this show. And, the whole thing, her show, I mean, she was a comedic genius, of course. But the whole, 3-camera setup, that was never done before. Like that.
Is that true?
Sitcom 3, it was because of I Love Lucy that became a thing.
Wow.
Okay. She was so far ahead of the game and such a boss. And anytime you see Paramount Plus,
and also, not for nothing, a female lead married to a Puerto Rican man.
Yes, a Cuban, right?
A Cuban man, right? Yes. That was not something you saw on network television at that time.
And I remember reading something, again, this was so far ahead of the time. She wanted to make sure Desi Arnaz did not come off as a buffoon. Would never they would never make,
because that's how the executives would have been comfortable with it.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then she's such a boss. And folks, we're talking about Paramount Plus and all the Star Trek shows and everything. Paramount Plus, that's a direct descendant of Desilu Productions. That's what eventually, Desilu Productions. So I think to me, that's the number one.
All right.
They have so much influence on today's modern TV.
Okay. I literally could not argue that, and I wouldn't want to.
Yeah. I would actually make a case for The Sopranos. We were just talking about Sopranos. That sort of launched, I think, this new era of,
prestige television.
This modern.
It wasn't the first one,
TV.
but it was the first big deal.
Yes. I mean, it took, the anti-hero, right, to Tony Soprano, and made him the lead character. Like, I don't think, did we really have that back in the day? Like an anti-hero? Like, I mean, this guy's part of the mob, doing these despicable things, and he was like the protagonist of the show.
I'm sure we must have had anti-hero shows prior to that. Surely. Yeah. Surely we must have. What actually the most important thing to me that I've always respected most about Sopranos was the fact that, again, probably not the first show, but maybe it is, that kind of normalized therapy as a thing that normal people do. Yeah. Because prior to that, pop culture opinion of therapy was, what about Bob? Baby Steps with Richard Dreyfuss and Bill Murray, and it's just played for laughs, or the Newhart Show. Anybody remember the Newhart was I don't remember if he was a psychiatrist or psychologist, but it was played for laughs. And there was nothing, and that was such a huge central focus. Somebody dealing with trauma, talking about it, and I think that was hugely important because I think since then, the idea of seeking, mental health help has become much more commonplace and much more accepted. Whereas prior to that, it was just something that you don't talk about that. And then you add on top of that, yes, is that the birth of what we now think of as television? Maybe. I mean, it's not HBO had Oz before that, but Oz didn't really catch on fire or anything.
Yeah.
I would think that's a good one.
Yeah, I feel like Sopranos is the one that launched this modern, take of television. And, honestly, I think the better show is The Wire. I think that show is the better show, but I don't know how influential it was. You know what I mean? I feel like...
I think the groundwork had been laid by Sopranos. That's 2 for 2, sir. I go for both of those. I see Goblin says, wait a minute, what about Frasier? I would argue that for the most part, the therapy in Frasier was played for laughs with the call-ins on the Seattle talk show and all that. Again,
I think that's a great character. I never thought the show was that good. I really like the Frasier character.
Yeah. Oh, I liked all the characters and the dog. Yeah. But when we watched the show, just because it was must-see TV on Thursday nights, Cheers is over. I guess we'll watch this show now, and it's coming back. But no, let's see. But another sitcom though. Although should we be talking about influential in terms of culture and society, or in terms of the industry? So far I think we've talked about ones that did both. I can think of another one that's really more about culture, and that'd be Will and Grace.
Oh yeah, right. The normalizing, like that's
normalization
was that
of
the first,
same-sex couples.
Gay character?
Yes.
Like that was. Oh man.
Yeah.
That wasn't played just for laughs.
That was a big
right?
deal.
Yeah.
And people forget how big a deal that was.
Hey, well, why don't we take this back? What do you think of the? I just remember the character, but Billy Crystal's character in Soap. Wasn't he gay?
Yeah.
But
I think his character's name is Danny. For some reason, that pops into my head immediately, and that was a big deal. But
yeah.
I don't think that Soap changed the world. I don't think Soap was still. Soap was a successful show, and it was a great show. But I don't think it had the same kind of cultural impact that Will and Grace did. Will and Grace was again must-see TV on Thursday, and it's about gay people and how they've got the same problems as everybody else. And and it's all about that. It's not, oh, by the way, we just have a secondary character who occasionally gets a B plot and occasionally an A plot and would go on to become a big superstar. But
agreed.
Yeah. So
Kabuki Kid actually coming up with this. I think this one is very important. The Real World, for being what kicked off reality TV. I think that
for better or for worse.
For better or for worse. That's right. We didn't say it was good or bad, folks, but I think I don't like reality TV, but you have to credit The Real World for really.
Did The Real World come before Cops? I think it did. I'm pretty sure it did.
Yeah.
I remember in the 80s thinking, wow, I've never seen anything like this.
Yep. Yeah. The Real World.
It's created the formula that is still adhered to this day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
but
Kabuki.
For better or worse, I can't watch 99% of reality TV, but there's no denying the impact it's had on our culture.
That's hard to argue. I don't think I can argue with that.
I can't either.
I was going to throw out another arguably controversial one. I was going to mention Lost. Because it certainly spawned a lot of what the show co-creator J.J. Abrams called mystery box shows. Those are really, really common now. And prior to Lost, it was like, what? There's going to be a mystery? And people have to watch multiple seasons and try and get online. I mean, Lost couldn't have existed prior to Lost because the internet didn't exist.
Yeah.
Lost succeeded because of the internet, with people getting together and, picking apart clues and looking for stuff. I mean, that was such a huge deal, and that has now become so normalized. But not as big a deal as the real world.
I know. But you're right, that whole, that thing where people do now, I mean, it's common now, but where you gather on the internet to dissect a show and talk about it. You didn't have that back in the day. I mean, we had maybe bulletin boards on, on CompuServe. Or you just talk with your friends in real life. But this whole idea of, a mystery box show where you can just go on Twitter and start talking, here's my theory or whatever. Yeah.
Everybody, by the way, in the chat is shouting about Star Trek. And of course, I love Star Trek, of course. And of course, I think it maybe has more direct day-to-day impact on all our lives than anything else we've talked about, just because of how many engineers and scientists it inspired to literally change the world, to strive for a better place, a perfect future, a utopian future. I do think that's hugely important, and and obviously, would we have cell phones? We wouldn't have had them as soon if there were so many of those things. That said, it's not like it was the first. I mean, did it? I mean, it went away very quick in 3 seasons. Did Lost in Space get more seasons than the original Star Trek did? I'm not sure, but it might have. Yeah, and I love it. And it's still with us today. I mean, right now we have more Star Trek than we ever had before. But and again, had the first interracial kiss, and and so many other things, and it had a truly, for lack of a better term, rainbow coalition. I mean, all races, creeds, and colors, and they dove even deep to that when they got into the animated series, where a Native American was a bridge crew and all that. So all that's really wonderful. I just don't know if it was as impactful. I don't know. Yeah.
From a television standpoint, I would say no. I would argue against it because, like you said, it was only. I mean,
it died very quickly. There's one huge thing: syndication.
Yep.
Syndication was born because it became such a big deal. Now here's the deal: syndication is dead now. It doesn't matter because now everything's instant streaming. But for most of our lives, most everything I watched was syndicated, catching after the show.
Yep. Same. So I guess we can argue both ways. As far as television impact, I don't think it had as much as we thought we did. Yeah. But like you said, day to day, I mean, there are astronauts that were inspired by Star Trek to become astronauts. Mm-hmm. I don't think you can get more influential than that, folks. I mean, you could, but I mean, that's a pretty big thing. And iPads, cell phones, all that stuff. Come on, it's being influenced.
And you can make an argument, but honestly, I love Lucy, The Sopranos, and The Real World.
Yeah, we both cringe at The Real World, but it's hard to
argue against
it. Yeah,
it would be an oversight not to mention it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, there you go, folks. Well, that was fun.
Woo.
All right.
That was a good list. Good show.
But now you all have to fight to the death, and we have to come up with a secret word for the actual 50. This is the 50th pre-show, but now we have to go to the actual show. So hold on a second. Let me where is it?
Oh gosh, Kabuki Kid. We totally forgot about SNL. That's a huge.
Saturday Night Live?
Too. Yeah.
Saturday Night Live is certainly important. I agree. Yeah. But I mean, I guess it has a big impact. I mean, and certainly in its early days, more than anything else. I mean, SNL satirizing Jerry Ford moved the needle in a big way. Yeah. And I guess that still happens to a certain extent. But it's not like, Saturday Night Live has had many imitators over the years, and it's not like any of them ever really succeeded. Or in the same way. Yeah. Let's see. But anyway, I was going to do a battle royale. I mean, there's too much. I mean, it's tough doing a top 3, to be honest.
It really is. I'm okay with the choices we made. I think those are 3 solid choices.
I dig it.
Again,
I dig it.
Thanks to chat as well.
Yep. Cool. All right. But in the meantime, All right, it is time to throw down, and
Good
right
luck,
off
everybody.
the bat, I break for the opening. Nobody can touch me, even though I'm wearing a big, gigantic yellow balloon, and I run right up to throw down with Kabuki Kid, and smack Kabuki Kid, and then Kabuki Kid runs for me and backstabs me, and now I'm throwing down with Fidelia 84. Oh man, I am on a tear. I'm at 50% health, but now I'm running right into the middle of the scrum. I don't know if I'm going to make it out alive. Miantos and Charis Minor should keep running for me, that's right. But then Fem Sensei throws down, and Fem takes me out with an assist from Andrew Scott. The Plunger of Doom is being wielded. Andrew's at 50% health, and he's heading for Sea Otter, who is a dead otter walking, quite frankly. That Halo Sword will not save Sea Otter. The question is, does Fidelia grab the health back? Andrew, you're too busy messing around, and Fidelia comes in. Oh, it's an even match. Plunger versus Ice Cream Cone. Ice Cream Cone every day of the week.
Every day of the
Fidelia
week, Ice
is
Cream
the
Cone.
winner.
Well done, Fidelia. Always fun. And everyone's going to get regenerated. You're reborn right now. GG to
Good
Fidelia.
game, everybody. Okay. So, last thing before we start the show, what is the secret word? Because, of course, we're giving away one of these. Oh, look how shiny.
Nice. What's the secret word? I
Okay, Fidelia, that's your first win.
Lucy,
Congratulations.
Sopranos.
Oh, wow.
Oh, well done, Fidelia. We're talking about a bunch of TV stuff. We were talking about a lot of non-gaming stuff.
We were, yeah, it was very little. I mean,
this
did we talk about games? Oh, that's right. We talked about gardening or Planted and
Planted. The other one I ranked. What? Oh
Wormholes.
What was it?
Wormholes and Planted are the only
Wormholes,
games we talked about so far. Neither of which are rolling rights.
Yeah. I guess we could do something along the lines of, what are the TV shows? Real World. How are we going to jam this in here? How am I going to, let me see, look at my list here.
Oh,
All right, folks,
while you're looking, I've got to remember.
We need help, folks. What's a good secret word, folks?
I have to update the list I've got because everything's wrong. Oh, you know what I can do? I can just leave this open and click on the emails, and that'll pop there. All right, because I switch stuff when it's off screen. Okay, I'm fine. Yeah, I just need to keep this up. All right, that's cool.
Okay.
All righty.
Cool.
MASH, television, Lucy, Erase.
Television.
Narwhal. I don't remember talking about Narwhal. Let's see here.
Revolutionary. Erase.
Oh, Crutches. Alicia Keys, Crutches. Oh, that feels now like a deep pull since we're something we talked about an hour ago.
Wow, that is a deep pull. Let me see if
I've
I can
got foot problems. You've got foot problems.
Yeah, I sort of like that. I can probably, you know what? Oh man, if I got to do it for this one particular game, because
okay.
I don't think I can fake it for the.
Bing points out the secret word should be 50.
50. Oh yeah, that would make sense.
I'm not really one for anniversaries when it boils right down to it. Obviously, folks, we didn't do any special prep at all here. It was just a normal. Right. That's just kind of I never really celebrate anything.
Yeah.
Oh, they should. We should have had a clip show of all the greatest, and we should have gotten all. And we should have done a bunch of stuff, but we just didn't.
And then end the show. We should just end the show with a black silence.
Yeah, just in the middle of a sentence. Just cut to black.
That would be too perfect.
I love that.
Say, oh my gosh, my internet's out. Their internet's out. We don't know. It was the end of the show. Okay, why don't we go with Crutches? I think.
All right, you got Crutches. Crutches it is. I like it. I like it a lot. All right.
Yeah.
Well, then, let me go on ahead and put the warning on screen to let everybody know that we're going to start doing the show. And folks, after we're done with the show, which will probably take 30 or 40 minutes, there'll still be some time we can do some more Q&A. So if any questions come up, especially if you have questions about what we said, what about X, Y, or Z, let us know. Start your question with a question mark. That's very important. Also, at the end of the show, we were talking about this before we went live. Doing this made me realize I own 25 Roll and Write games. How about you?
I didn't give the exact number, but I had 30.
You counted at least 30. And
least
so
30.
there's a lot more I could talk about. So we will talk about some of our just barely missed it as well, and do some more Q&A, and then we'll do a raid. So that's the plan for the rest of the show. And folks, don't sit on your Rahdo points. It's not like you can use them as a retirement account. Have us do stuff. Make us jump through hoops. That's what we're here to do.
Yeah.
But anyway,
folks, help me rank my entire collection. Let's keep
exactly.
getting those Ruel ranks. Let's do some
Although
more
once
of these
that's
top
done,
threes.
the
These
show
top
is
threes
over.
are fun. Yeah. Oh, we got this and that's too. This or that's are
Oh,
fun.
this or that's are my
We
favorites. Definitely.
Love those. Yeah.
Okay. We have yet to have anybody do a game sommelier. I don't think.
I was gonna say, that hasn't been used yet. I would love to do that.
Yeah,
so
all right.
maybe during the after show.
People, you've got the tools. You're earning those Rahdo points every second you watch. So, let's see. The show is sponsored by Sagrada Artisans. Mm-hmm. And I've already put up a run-through for Sagrada Artisans, so I felt kind of weird doing my let me just show you what a turn is like. So I thought what I'd do is, hey, even though it's already been opened, that we do an unboxing.
Yeah. Oh, look at that shiny box. Oh, my gosh,
it's so shiny. Look at it.
Nice.
Look at it.
Wow.
Yep, it's very cool. So I don't know if the real game is going to be like this. I assume so. This is a prototype, obviously. So right. So we're gonna
friends in chat. The secret word is crutches. Correct?
Yes. Oh
crutches?
Yeah. Let me get ready with the what's it? The secret word is crutches.
Yes, crutches. Yeah. People were asking about that. Yep, crutches is the word, folks.
Yep. And it'll be Ruel who is saying it because he abused some crutches recently, and for the last few weeks I could have used some crutches in a big way. All right, so I need to. Right, so that's fine. I've got all of that.
I don't see how you got around. So the whole time your foot's hurting, are you just sitting on the laying on the couch?
This is whatever it is now, 2.5 weeks worth of beard growth, because I've pretty much just fallen into I just lay around all day, or hobble over to the game table to play a game with Jen, or hobble over to this table to film something. I haven't gone. We did go one place, and I put on shoes, and that set me back like 3 or 4 days. So I've been doing bed rest pretty much, or almost. Wow. I haven't walked the dogs in a couple of weeks. I haven't shaved. I haven't bathed as much as I should.
Oh my gosh.
Although the thing about the bathing is, Jen uses like soap or liquid soap. I hate that. I always use bar soap. But a few weeks ago, the bar soap, there was much of a sliver. It was time to throw away. And I keep meaning to ask Jen, hey, next time you go out, could you get me a bar soap? I've been needing bar soap. I can't take a shower without a bar soap. And then I mentioned it yesterday. I finally remembered when she was going out to do something, hey, can you pick up bar soap? And she's like, we've got like 20 of them from hotels around the world in this box over here. I'm like, ah! So I will be taking a bath with some Japanese soap later today.
I was going to say, I'm sure you're bathing with stuff from Dice Tower West or whatever hotel, the Rio or whatever.
Yep.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Okay. So next week, I believe for episode 51, I will be freshly shaved because this is getting a little. I don't know how you do it, man. This is just so annoying. The feeling,
Well, I guess I let this grow out, but then I'll trim around the mouth area. I trim the mustache and around here, just because it just when you're eating and stuff.
Sure.
But I guess you just get sort of used to it or whatever.
I guess yes.
Or at least I did. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So I think we're ready to go. We're gonna do an unboxing of this. We're gonna do a giveaway. The secret word is crutches. Then we're gonna do our top 10. We will explain these are not just rolls, but these are flip and fills. These are random run rights, however you want to call it. And then we just do it. Ready to go?
Cool.
Alrighty then. Let me bring up the Whoozy Mascoozy. Alrighty. And you're ready, right?
Wait. Give me 1 second. I need a 3. Okay. Okay, I know how I'm going to do the secret word. I got it. Okay.
All right, you are confident you got it. Right. Mm-hmm. And I need to not look at this because I'm going to use the wrong links. Oh, that's going to drive me nuts. Hold on a second. I am literally going to delete all these links out of my normal thing that I pull them out of because I'll just use them mistakenly because I remember I have to use the email that has the correct links. All right, so fine. Okay. I'm glad you spotted that. That would have been a great episode of 50th where we just completely butcher our entire list. Okay. So, cool. Here we go again. On our own, going down the only road we ever known. Drifters, we were born to walk alone. Okay.
Wow, a little white snake going there.
Yes. Oh, nice. No better way to start a show.
Yep.
Okay. Hey, oh, no, shoot. Hey everybody, this week's episode of the R&R Show is brought to you by Sagrada Artisans. And hello, Ruel, how are you doing?
Hello, I was mesmerized by that opening. Wow, what a cool animated intro. I love it.
Oh, it's cool, all right, the animated
Yeah.
intro, but nowhere near as cool as this box. Look
at
how
the
shiny,
wow.
Ruel. Look.
Nice.
Oh, it's
I
my
love
precious. Jen and I have actually already finished the whole thing. And in fact, just this morning, I put a run-through up because it just went live on Kickstarter, and it's sponsoring the show. And I thought, before we get to what we're here to do today, top 10 roll and writes, how about we do a little bit of an unboxing? Never done an unboxing on the R&R Show, I don't think.
I don't think so. Yeah, this is the first time for it, and what better time than the 50th show that
How
we've done
about?
together?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's try something new. Let's do an unboxing.
All right.
Admittedly, an unboxing of a box I've already unboxed earlier. But still, you folks can pretend. I've actually reset this so it was like it's in the same situation as when I first got it. Let me check the overhead camera. And there we go. Yep. So, Sagrada Familia is a legacy game of dice drafting and window coloring by Daryl Andrews and Adrian Adamescu. And if you look, you can see the cool reflective mirror-like surface there.
Cool.
But here is the deal, folks. Sagrada, which has traditionally been a dice drafting game, is now a roll and write. Everybody, as part of setup, gets one of their own personal journals. Each page in this journal is a new window that you will color in using regular Sagrada rules. Now, Jen and I have already finished the game, but I can still show it. Well, I'll come back to it in a second. Let's continue with the unboxing, right? Because we're unboxing stuff here. Right.
Yeah.
So, here is the cathedral board where every round, in regular Sagrada, you just roll the dice, you put them in a pile, people grab them. Now you put them on this cathedral board in the individual spots. And this is a huge change because, say you rolled 2 green 5s, you can only put 1 in each spot. So there's a much more even distribution of dice results, both because you use this board, which if you look closely, you'll notice dotted lines and little letters. If you know legacy games, you know what that means, folks. There's a rule book that I cannot show you because this is full from stem to stern with stickers that have been put in. So I don't want to spoil anything. This is the only, it's only the front page that doesn't change. So we'll just skip the rule book. But you open it up and here's what we get. First of all, a whole bunch of envelopes. Open when instructed. Open when instructed. The first time a player comes in last place the second time, hey, chances are they need a little bit of help. Open when instructed, etc., etc. It has a whole bunch of secrets waiting for you to crack these wax seals based on certain things. We've got a box full of very colorful pencils. Because we are playing, I think, Ruel, this is the first legacy roll and write in the industry. And
Nice.
You can watch my run-through to see how it works. I have to admit, when I started my run-through, I was kind of afraid I would make a mistake, and I actually used proxy dice from regular Sagrada. But you get to the extended, and I busted out the pencils and did some coloring. What else do you get? You get a bag of dice, but unlike regular Sagrada where it comes with 50 bajillion little tiny dice, we just get 10 normal dice. There's only 2 of each color. And so what that means is every round, depending on the player count, it's 5 or 7 dice or 9 dice that come out. And what that means is you're never going to get a situation like regular Sagrada where, my God, I've been waiting half the game for a 3. But it's just nothing but high numbers because, or I've been waiting for a yellow. No yellows come out because purples keep coming out. Because of this system with the limited number of dice and this, you get a much more even distribution. Honestly, it would be hard for me to go back to play regular Sagrada rules where it can be so much more swingy. But with this system, I think it's a big improvement. What else do we get? We get some mysterious empty boxes. And if you want to know what these boxes are about, you can go watch my run-through all the way to the end. Because when I get to the end of the run-through, I start unlocking features. There's also this big mysterious box, which is also mysteriously empty. But it'll get filled up as you go. Here's some little tiny boxes. Can you hear it? There's some fun stuff in those waiting to be opened. Here is the pencil sharpener, which is the first player marker, and it works really nicely. And believe me, you use it a lot because these pencils, they go dull very quickly because we're using them so much. Let's see. And then most importantly for any legacy game, we've got the story deck. Start here and read the first intro. You're introduced to what's going on. This is a multi-generational story where we will make what is it? I forget now. Like a dozen different windows. I forget exact number. I mean, you can go check out the Kickstarter page. But every round there are going to be new rules, new windows, and that means we come back to this. Now, when you first open your book, you actually get the opportunity to name your family that's going to play through generations. You keep track of all the, it's 10. It's 10 windows that you'll do. You also have a secret here. What's under this?
Ooh.
I'm not going to tell you. You have to watch the run through. You get introduced to Antoni Gaudi himself, the genius behind the Sagrada Familia, and you go directly into our first one. Now, this is one I've already finished. I think this is one of the ones I did for my run through. And as you can see, you are using these pencils to color areas in. And so what's interesting about this game, Ruel, is it's the first legacy roll and write adult coloring book. Because when we were playing this game, when Jen was waiting for me to take a turn, she would always be, I'm just going to paint in some of these side things. Not because I have to, but just because. You can see her books are all colored all the way through. And the fact that you can't fix your mistakes. Once you make a mistake, hey, you just got to exit out. You can't just pick the die up and put a different die down, because once you've written, it's over. And so there is so much more at stake with every decision you make than there ever was in regular Sagrada. I got to say, a Legacy Roll and Write is fantastic. And it is on Kickstarter right now. And I've done a full run-through of the first chapter. If you watch all the way through, I give a spoiler warning, and then I unlock a few little things here and there. And I talk about how they make the game replayable. And so you can keep, after the campaign is over, you can keep playing with very, very nice features that you can read about on the page. And that's it. We are sponsored by Sagrada Familia. This is easily going to be one of my wife Jen's top 10 favorite experiences she had this year, because it's just a phenomenal design. It takes Sagrada to such new, never-before-seen heights. So much creativity. I was blown away by it. And it is a roll and write. It would totally make this list, but it hasn't come out yet. So we're going to talk about our top 10 roll and writes that are not Sagrada artisans today.
Nice. Yeah. Wow. You've totally sold me on this. Like, I'd heard a little bit about this before, but you breaking it down like this, you had me at a Legacy Roll and Write and coloring book. Yes. Michelle and I, there's a game called Color It by from Haba. It's just a wonderful little roll and color game for kids and families. But this is more my jam. And Michelle and I love Sagrada. We love coloring, so we're gonna love this. I cannot wait to play it. It looks fantastic.
Cool. Well, so I know you're excited about it. I imagine the audience is excited about it, and one lucky audience member can win a copy of this. Ruel, how do they win?
Folks, you're going to be able to win your very own copy by watching the show and listening for the secret word. This episode, number 50, the secret word is crutches, like what you use to walk around when your foot is hurt. Why did we pick crutches? Watch the extended edition of the show, and you'll find out exactly why we're using crutches. So
it is has a personal meaning for both of us.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, for both of us, a very special meaning, unfortunately.
The show isn't the only one that turned 50 recently.
Right. Crutches. One of us is going to say it, and what you're going to do is type the name of the game that we're talking about at that moment and send it to, in an email to contest@rahdo.com. The name of the game that we're talking about when we say crutches, and you'll be entered to win your very own copy of Sagrada Artisans.
All right. Well, there you go, folks. Right. There's the information on the screen, and you'll have to listen closely. You don't know who's going to say it, but when you hear crutches, make note. All right. And otherwise, Ruel, I think we're ready to go with our top 10 roll and writes, although that deserves a bit of explanation too, right?
It does, yeah. So we had talked about this before we, got together for the show. Like, how are we going to define roll and writes? I mean, do we need to actually have the dice in it? And, like we're talking Yahtzee. Yahtzee to me is like, that's the OG roll and write. I mean, it's the standard bearer. That's the one that launched this genre. But, it's evolved over the years, right? So now you have flip and fills, right? You have, cards that you flip over. Do we include those? And what we decided is yes. The spirit of the mechanism roll and write is apparent in all the games we chose, and all the games, a bunch of games that we didn't choose as well. So that's what we're including, folks. We're including the entire genre of roll and write, flip and fill, and whatnot.
Okay. All right. Well, then I think we are going to be ready to go with the top 10.
Okay.
And I've got the list set up, I think. Right? Okay. And you've got yours ready to go. Yep. So, Ruel.
Shall we kick things off? Oh.
our friend is an
What happened?
Just to get ready, I clicked the first link just to make sure it was going to open up.
Yeah.
It's...
I was just about to ask, did you get Rickrolled? Or did we get Rickrolled? Oh my gosh. Wow.
Okay. And now, he thought he was really clever, but he didn't realize I actually deleted the original list.
Oh no!
So that's okay. It just means I'll have to do a little bit more fast thinking behind the scenes. You'll say what it is. I won't be able to follow the link. I'll just have to very quickly type it in and get there. But that's okay. It's fine. We've done this before.
Wait a second. Can I drop the link in Discord?
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Sure?
I'm assuming, I've covered a lot of roll and writes. You have too. I'm assuming, you know what? Tell you what, if it's one when you mention it, if you have a run through for it, say what it is, which is one of the things I really enjoyed running through, and I'll know, I should do a search for Ruel Gaviola name of game. Otherwise, I'll probably put my own video up.
Okay, cool.
Never gonna give you up.
I can't believe we got Rickrolled.
Let you down.
Oh my gosh.
Oh. You know where you are. Oh, that is funny. But now I got to do a little bit of editing.
He's totally cracking up right now. He is loving it right now.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
I am certain. I'm sure he's watching. I'm sure he's just been waiting for this. And all the audience saying, "Well done, friend."
Yeah.
I disagree.
Friend. Put that friend in quotes, folks. Okay.
All right. Hold on a second. All right. So
let's
you know what? Oh, wait. I still have his earlier email, don't I? Yes, I do.
Oh, yeah.
Which has the correct ones. Oh my God, he's so committed to this gag. I'm looking at the new one he sent. Every single bit.ly is a different one. And just confirming.
That's pretty good. If you're gonna
no. Okay. Yeah, he didn't commit that far. He didn't actually make 10 links to right, somebody anyway. Oh man, you son of a gun. All right, still.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, well, this was a special episode after all.
Yeah.
All right.
There's our celebration for 50 right there. We got Rickrolled.
Okay. What did I say? I said asshole. I have to edit that out.
Yeah.
Right. Let's see. I'll probably have to throw up a pause for a technical difficulties thing, and then we're going to continue after the technical difficulties thing that I will edit in afterwards shows up.
Perfect. Yep.
Well played, sir. I know you're out there. I know you're still cracking yourself up.
Yep. Well played. Yeah.
Oh my God. Scott O'Brien quite rightly points out we just got Rick rolled and written.
Rick rolled and right. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's perfect. Thank you, Scott.
Of course. All right. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So let me get back here. So I'm having to use this, and that's okay. That's okay. All right, which means I don't... All right, okay. Whew, now I'm worried about these other links. Are they all booby-trapped? But no, presumably he didn't do it in the original email he sent earlier in the day.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, folks. Oh, that really threw me for a loop. All right, so we're coming back from a technical difficulties insert. Oh, folks, the guy who helps Ruel and I put our list together, he just played a little bit of a 50th anniversary practical joke. We just got Rick Rollin' written. Because he actually sends all of the links to us, and I was just getting ready to load up Ruel's first one, and it was Rick Astley, and we all had a little bit of a laugh. We all cursed our friend who put this together for us. But now we're here to really get to work. I'm sorry, Ruel. Would you like to try again? What is our number 10 roll and write game?
We are Rick rolled and right. Well done, sir. Well played. Let's move on to our number 10. This is going to be, hopefully it's not Rick Astley when I press this little button here. Our number 10, top 10 roll and writes is Railroad Inc. A wonderful game. I really enjoyed this one. It's a smaller box game, but don't let that small box fool you, folks. There's a lot of game in this. It's a terrific puzzle, and what you're doing is rolling dice. You're trying to build a network of railroad tracks and a network of highways. And every round you're going to roll 4 dice. And every player at the same time is going to use those dice to lay down those tracks in their little erasable scoreboard there. You do this over 7 rounds, and then you're going to count up all the connections you've made. The more you've made, the more points you score. Any incomplete railways or roads are going to lose points. And there's also special bonuses as well for finishing things in the middle of the scoreboard and whatnot. I love this game. I love how easy it is to teach, and it's you can solo it as well. You do have some ways to mitigate those dice. There are special symbols there that you can use instead of the dice. You can use 1 per round, up to 3, I think, during the game. And there are mini expansions.
Yes.
In the red edition, which I have, there's a lava expansion and also a meteor expansion that changes things up just enough to give it a little more replayability. Michelle and I and all my friends, we've always enjoyed Railroad Inc. I remember the first time I played it, in fact, at my friendly local gaming store. I played one game, I was like, yep, I'm buying the next one off the shelf. And we I think there was like 2 or 3 of us that bought games that day. So it's a wonderful game. It's a great roll and write, and that's why it's our number 10. Railroad
An
Inc.
excellent choice. Although, did I hear you correctly? You only own the red edition?
Yeah, and I know there's all these
gosh.
other colors that I need to get. The blue, the yellow, the green, all this stuff, right?
Yeah, the blue, yellow, green, and red. I was going to ask you, what was your favorite? I guess your favorite is red.
It's
and
red,
you know what? To be fair, red I would say is the second best. But for my money, yellow is the best.
That's what I hear. What about the yellow that makes it your favorite?
Oh man, well the green and the yellow both get much more complex. Red and blue, the first 2 that came out, are much more gateway. They're much easier to teach. But the red and the yellow and the green, they both added new mechanisms. The core game still works the same, but it gets so much more complex. And of the 2, the green was the more complex, whereas yellow was kind of somewhere in between the 2. So that's kind of why it hit the sweet spot for us. Nice. Plus, the art you do is a little bit easier, doing desert dunes and some of the other things you have to draw in this game when it boils right down to it. But they're all fantastic. An excellent game. A very good and worthy start. Number 10, Railroad Inc. But you know what's even better, Ruel? Number 9, Avenue. Which is fantastic. Oh my gosh, look at this video from 2016. A very young Rahdo and Jen playing live with the audience and having a great time. Now, this is going to be our first one that officially is not a roll and write. It is a flip and fill, because what happens is every round a new card gets revealed, and bingo style, everybody has to draw a new road. Hey, it's another route builder, much like our previous one, Rainbow, but we're being driven not by dice, but by cards. And we are trying to connect all these different hotspots in our fantasy kingdom to score lots of points with long roads, taking big gambles, hoping we'll be able to get the right stuff connected, never being quite sure we'll pull it out. And what really makes this game so brilliant is its scoring system, because every once in a while you have scoring, and once you have scored a certain level, like say your first one, hey, I scored 6 points on my C road or something like that. For the rest of the game, the future scorings, you have to score higher than 6. If you scroll less, you get nothing. So you have this really tough thing of, there's this pressure of, okay, well, the last time I scored 16, I don't think I can score 17 with these other ones. I should not have scored that 16 halfway through the game. I should have waited. This brilliant level of tension for the 5 rounds where you're trying to slowly work your way up is so fresh. And then the gameplay itself is fantastic too. Now there's the original Avenue version, but then it got reprinted as Avenue of the Kodamas, which was basically a 2.0 that added a completely different theme that is very warm and charming and some extra stuff. I've still got Avenue. I want to get Avenue, or Avenue of the Kodamas or the Kokoro, but either way, it's a brilliant game. I played this 2-player with my wife. I played this. It's a bingo style game, so in big groups of 6 or 7 people at a restaurant, it just works. And again, that brilliant tension of trying to score but not score too much, because you'll hurt yourself later if you're not careful, is absolutely wonderful, which is why Avenue comes in at number 9.
You know, it's funny. I didn't know that Avenue of the Kodoras was the remake of Avenue, because I was listening to describe it. It's like, I've never played Avenue. I was like, this seems sort of familiar. Yes, Avenue of the Kodora. It was set in that.
Or is it Kodama? It's Kodama, it's Kokoko or Kokoru Avenue of the Kodamas. I think
the other word that you said, not Kodora, but Komor. No, Kodama. It's that world, yeah, that world, which is illustrated by Kwanchai Moria,
Yes.
right? So it's got the beautiful art, and I've played that one. And yeah, I love that tension. You're talking about, do you want to score, but you don't want to score too much. To me, it's very Knizian in that sense. And yeah, right?
Yeah,
very much. One of my favorite designers always does that. You want to score, but you got to be careful,
Yeah.
So, great choice. Nice. All right, this list is off to a great start,
Yes.
folks. Let's move on to our number 8. This one is a game that I know we both enjoyed a lot, and actually we did a run through of it together. It is our number 8, Rolling Realms from Stonemaier Games.
Yes,
Jamie
it is.
Stegmaier. He designed this game during the pandemic, folks. He wanted a way to, play games with the audience, and this one is bingo style, and it is very much. I look at this game as very influenced by Ganshan Clever, right? Very combo-rific. You're going to be, like other bingo style games. You roll dice, and everyone's going to use those dice to fill in their score sheets. You have 9 different mini games. You pick 3 of them for each round, and you're going to play those. I think it's like 6 rolls or whatever it is for the round, and you're going to score them. What it is, you're basically collecting resources and trying to use those resources the most efficient way to duplicate dice, to mitigate dice, to change them, to get bonus numbers, because you want to fill those up to get those ever elusive victory point stars, which
Yes.
are a very Stonemaier thing. You want all those stars, and it's really interesting too, because at the end of the game, you're going to have a decimal point almost all the time in your score, because you get decimal points for the extra resources at the end of the game. We played this live together with the audience. I love this game. It started off as a print and play that
Yeah.
Jamie had done during the pandemic, and I enjoyed that. I think it was called 9 Realms originally, and then he had such a great response to it. He said, "Hey, I'm going to make a physical version, and this is what it is, Rolling Realms." It's a wonderful game. That's why it's our number 8. And check out those dice. Those dice, the camera does not do it justice. Those dice are humongous.
They are awesome dice,
ginormous.
yes.
Yeah, you could literally hurt someone with those dice, folks. So be careful when you get this copy. This game is our number 8, Rolling Realms.
And one more thing to bear in mind about it too, he hasn't stopped developing. Every
That's
month
right,
it seems
yeah.
like they are putting out more new realms that people can print out. Or no, I think they're actually selling as like add-on packs based
Yes.
on games from from other publishers. Some of the there's an Agricola one. There's all. That's very, very cool. The game continues to grow. Plus, end users are making new ones as well. I mean, if you only own one roll and write, it makes sense to make it Rolling Realms, because right out the
Yeah.
gate it comes with 9 roll and writes built into one,
Yeah.
and then it just
Yeah,
keeps
that's-
expanding.
It's really neat how he's done each one to a Stonemaier title, and it's somewhat thematic. Like you're actually doing like viticulture and scythe and all that stuff, and they do have sort of lined up. I mean, it is still a roll and ride at its heart, but like with the castles ones, castles of what was the castle?
Mad
Castles
King
of
Ludwig.
I'm sorry.
Mad King Ludwig.
Mad King Ludwig. Like they're like, when you see the sheet, it's like they look like little castles, and you fill in the numbers. It's a wonderful game, and as you said, there are still new mini games coming out based on other titles.
Actually, my only problem with it is it's on my list too, but quite a bit higher. It's brilliant. I love how it comes together, but it's just a little too abstract for me. All the ones I'm talking about today, they really try their best to bring the theme into the roll and write, and Rolling Realms really doesn't.
True.
But if you don't mind that, it's brilliant, an absolute must-have, and a very worthy number 8. Not as worthy as number 7, which I tend to think of as feeling very thematic, and I know you love it too, Ruel. Number 7 is On Tour.
Yes.
And here you and I are playing together. This is the newer version, On Tour, the Paris map, if I recall correctly.
Right.
There's been an On Tour US, an On Tour Europe, Paris, and what is the other one? London, I think? Or no,
London,
New York?
yes.
New York. And so it keeps expanding, but the core game has always been so wonderfully done. Every round, there are 3 cards out that tell you the different districts on the map that you can write numbers onto, these different venues. Because in this game, we are the manager of a band trying to figure out the perfect tour line for everybody. And so every round, there's different places we can book for our gigs, and we roll dice that tell tell us what numbers we can put in. And the 2 dice we roll, like if you rolled a 1 and an 8, that means you're going to put an 18 somewhere, and you're going to put an 81 somewhere too. And at first, you just have a map full of possibilities as you're trying to very much long-term think about, right, okay, if I put an 18 over here, and I got to put an 81 over here, I know those are probably going to be at the far ends of my ultimate tour. And so I'm every step of the way, you're doing short-term, immediate tactical responses to what you get, but always with long-term planning in mind. This brilliant mix of tactics and strategy driven by the dice is just wonderful. It's easy to teach, it's incredibly tension-filled, and to me, again, it does feel like, why can't I book anything in the Bronx? If you're playing I need to book something there, but there's no openings. And instead I keep on booking these other things. Okay, all right, that's fine. We can reroute over through Brooklyn. It'll be fine. Just absolutely phenomenal game. For the longest time, this was my number one roll and write of all time. There have been a few that eclipsed it, but it still rates very, very high for me on tour. Any version of it you can get.
Yeah, so, it's such a good game, and like you said, it is tension-filled. Like, every single dice roll, I love the fact that they don't have anything to mitigate the dice. Normally people say, we need dice mitigation. No, you don't. You can make a great game without all the other factors. Just, there's your dice, there's your numbers, go work with it. And I love that about this game, and that's why it's been a perennial favorite in my household as well. All right. Great choice for number 7, but let's move on to number 6. This one keeps climbing up the rankings in my personal rankings. It is a newer roll and write from a stellar design duo, Three Sisters, from Matt Riddle and Ben Pitchback. You may know them from games like Stellar, Fleet the Dice Game, and this one, it's the crunchiest roll and write that I like as of today. It is wonderfully crunchy. It mixes a rondelle with the roll and write. As you see there, the 2 sheets you're going to have that you're scoring. Basically, it's based on this not classic, this very well-known indigenous agricultural technique where pumpkins, corn, and beans are grown together. Right. So the corn provides like a lattice or like crutches for the beans to climb. The beans bring nitrogen from the air for the soil, and the squash provides natural mulch. And I love the fact that all those veggies are working together, and it sort of ties in a theme because you need to make sure all these dice work together properly, because you want to be able to combo everything. You have all kinds of different choices here. You can go to the apiary, you can go to the orchards, you can compost, go to the farmer's market, you can go to the shed, which gives you, tools and special abilities. And this is the only roll and write that I know of that on the score sheet actually includes like a notes section, because you will need that, folks. I guarantee you need it. My games, every single game I've played, I've had to write down, oh shoot, I got to remember, I got to combo this, or I have this to use or this to fill. Oh my gosh, it's such a nice little brain burner that plays in about 45 minutes, and I absolutely love it. Every time I play it, it keeps going higher and higher. It may eventually reach my number 1, folks. I'll tell you that right now. The only thing holding it back right now, it's a little nitpick for me, it's the size of the sheets. For someone with vision issues, especially colorblind issues, it's not that friendly. And now, if I could blow these up into like 8.5 by 11, maybe I should do that in order to be able to see everything. But there is that little issue, so that's one thing to keep in mind. But you know what? The game is so awesome that I would recommend just getting it anyways. And that's why it's our number 6. Three Sisters. A good one. You're right. I mean, if you look over there, while I was filming this run through, I was having to make notes to myself to keep track of what was happening. This game, it's you're right. It's the first roll and write that is so combinatorially interconnected. Sometimes you can have turns where, I'm going to take like 7, 8, 9, 10 extra bonus things, and I need to keep track of it all because it just explodes in combinatorial goodness. Really, really sharp design. A good choice. For my wife, it was almost too far. She's like, I can see that for some people. I can definitely see that. Yeah, I can definitely see that. It's not going to be for everyone. You have to know what you're getting into. I mean, again, it has a notes section. If that scares you off, then exactly. You know what I mean. So, but a wonderful choice. Anyways, I love the game. And but let's see what's our number 5. Okay, well, our number 5, I'm willing to bet, is probably going to be our most least known, or our least known on the list. You probably haven't played it. I'll be very impressed if you have, or if anybody in the comment if you have played number 5, Pandoria Merchants. Oh, I know of this one, but I have not played it. Yes. Okay, so here's the thing. This is a roll and write 4X game
without the fourth X. You expand, you explore, and you exploit, but you do not exterminate. And I love it for that. And also, for my money, having played almost every roll and write, or every major roll and write that has come out for the last 3 or 4 years, this one I would say is the heaviest one on the market. More so than Roman Roll. I haven't played Twilight Inscription yet, but I'd be willing to bet this is heavier than Twilight Inscription. Because every round, or I should say, when it's your turn, you roll 2 dice, and you put them together, they become effectively a domino that you are going to use to expand your dominion over a shared map that everybody is trying to grab territory on. And you claim spaces, and you're trying to get a whole bunch of the same type of symbols next to each other, but throughout, this is another 2-sheet roll and write, where there is also, each player has it's literally a deck of cards. And what you can do is you can spend resources to unlock these cards to give you different powers and whatnot. This is a roll and write where there's so much going on, it actually comes with colored cubes to keep track of resources, because you could not keep track of how much stuff is going on in this game. And I love it to pieces. It's rich, it's crunchy, it's a 4X game without the extermination, always something I appreciate. It plays really fast. It has a really cool solo mode where it turns it into kind of like, almost kind of like a campaign puzzle-y type game too. So ooh. I love everything about it. And I'm always, shouting its praises from the mountaintop, because I don't think many people have heard of it. But if you are looking for an incredibly heavy and an incredibly interactive without getting nasty with each other game, then you might want to check out Pandoria Merchants.
Yeah, I think we've talked about this before. I know so. Iron Games. Yeah, we've talked about Iron Games. There's some of their. This was based on the Pandoria game that he had released before.
That's
right?
correct.
Bernard,
yes.
I believe is his name.
Burned
I'm dying to. Yeah, I'm dying to try this one. I'm glad it made the list. It's good to see something that super crunchy on our list.
Very
okay. Now our number 4. Let's move on. Let me. Oh shoot, where is this thing? Come on.
You can do it,
Ruel.
Number
4. Yeah, we can do it. This is also a crunchy roll and write, but this one, oh my gosh, it's all about the theme. And I actually played this on my channel before, a solo game of it on my channel. Dinosaur, Rawr, and Right. And actually, it should be Dinosaur Island. Let me update that. I don't know why. Oh my gosh. Okay, technical stuff. That's always
that's
fun.
That's fine.
Dinosaur Island, Rawr, and Right. So if you knew the game Dinosaur Island, this is basically the same game converted into roll and write, and I think it exceeds the original. I'll tell you why. It exceeds it. For first of all, if you're not familiar, it's basically Jurassic Park, the board game. Mm-hmm. You're building, you're extracting DNA, building dinosaurs, and then eventually opening up an amusement park. Because of course, what could go wrong with an amusement park full of dinosaurs, folks? Nothing, right? Well, you're gonna find out by playing this game. The original Dinosaur Island. The reason why I think this exceeds it is Rawr and Right. All you need is the sheets, some cards, and you have your dice. The original, if you've played it, it's a lot to set up, a lot to tear down, and that was always a negative to me. Then I played Rawr and Right. I got rid of my original copy of Dinosaur Island, folks. I honestly moved it along to, it wasn't for me anymore. Rawr and Right is definitely for me. You are, just like I said, you are building your dinosaurs by getting all that DNA together. You're going to eventually put that on your score sheet. And what it is, it adds a nice spatial element as well, because you're drawing these polyomino shapes on your scoreboard, score sheet, but you have to do it in a certain way where, you have to have roads that connect to each other. You can't have certain things close to each other. And with the dice placement is so cool. You roll dice, 2 of them are going to be resources, the 2 of them you can use to place for your actions. So it's got a little dice placement to it, it's got resource management, and of course you're not always going to want to do certain things, but you have to, and I love that. You have specialists that have abilities, you have end game goals that score different amounts of victory points depending on what you're doing. And best of all, its solo is so fantastic.
Really?
It's got a little AI that's super easy to manage. It's basically blocking some spots for you, but you can always pay extra to do those actions. Oh, Richard, I love Dinosaur Island Rawr, right? I played it once, it immediately shot up in my top 5 of all time, and again, it's climbed up and up. That's why it's our number 4 here on our list of
top 5 roll and writes, or just top 5 games, period?
Roll and writes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great, but I don't know if it's top 5 period. But anyways, it's our number 4. Yeah, it's our number 4, Dinosaur Island.
And I'm
Rawr
very
and
happy
Ride.
it's here. I just finished talking about how Pandoria Merchants is probably the heaviest roll and ride I've played. This is number 2. Because here's the
Nice.
thing. Like you said, this is actually basically like, there are a lot of games like, oh, there's a successful Euro-style board game. Let's turn it into the dice game. And inevitably, that always means, okay, well, you just keep the flavor of it, but you strip a lot of stuff out. Not this game.
Yes.
This game is huge. They didn't compromise anything. It's still a drafting game. It's still a worker placement game. It is still a polyomino tile laying game, and it's all driven by roll and write. And like I said, they didn't sacrifice anything. It's big. It's huge. I love the extra trick where, the polyomino tile laying, you can't put them next to each other because you don't want dinosaurs to eat each other. So it's nice and thematically grounded. Really, this made my short list. I can see why I'm not talking about it because you like it even more than me, but I think it's amazing. An excellent choice, sir.
Thank you. Yeah. All right. But we've got 3 more to go. Let's see what our number 3 is.
Well, I've got one even better. Oh, we were talking about how great it is that there's all that replayability earlier with Rolling Realms, and there's so much variety baked in. I've got one with even more. Number 3 on the list is Welcome to the Moon.
Nice.
Welcome to the Moon. Welcome to is great. I don't think Welcome to would have made it into my top 10, but Welcome to the Moon is easily in my top 100 games of all time. It is absolutely fantastic. It takes the same flip and fill gameplay of the original Welcome to, which was a game where we were trying our best to lay out French suburbs, and instead we are now playing through multiple different maps. The game, I forget, I want to say it comes with 7 different maps. If I recall correctly,
like
if you play through the entire campaign, it might even have been more. And each one still has the same core gameplay of entwined drafting of every round picking which cards that have come up, which pair of cards, a number and a symbol are you going to pick. And that is going to let you fill in things, and every mission is different. Whether you're loading up the rocket ship to fly to the moon, whether you are building the moon base on Mars, whether you're fighting a viral outbreak on the surface of the planet, all these things that you are having to do. And if all that weren't enough, it actually comes with a choose your own adventure branching storyline narrative you can play through as well. And it has all kinds of unlocks. It just has so much content. And honestly, almost any one of the maps that comes with this game was good enough to stand on its own to be a full release game. But no, this game says hold my pen and just comes with a ton of stuff, and it's absolutely mind-boggling just how far this game pushes the genre. I was floored. Actually, I shouldn't say. As a warning, I wasn't floored the first time I played because the first mission you play has a couple of misworded things in the rulebook that all I can say is, folks, read the FAQ because you'll get the first mission will seem like, oh, it's broken. Oh, there's just like they worded something wrong. But once I got to the second mission and I got past that first misstep, and everybody I was playing with at the Dice Tower West convention, all our heads blew up. We were all fans of Welcome to, and we had no idea what this game had in store for us. And it just keeps on introducing more and more amazing stuff. Kimberly Tolson, another contributor to the Rahdo channel, Tabletop Tolson, she recently did a video where she ranked all the maps and talks about all of them. So if you want a full understanding of everything this game does, go check out her excellent video. I cannot recommend enough our number 3, Welcome to the Moon.
Yeah, I'm glad I figured this would be on the list.
Yeah.
I know how much of a fan you are, and Welcome to is such a game changer when it came out a few years ago, but I know that this is the one that people are really gravitated towards. I have not unfortunately been able to play it yet. I missed my chance with you at Dice Tower West, but I will be playing it soon enough. I know I will. I love
you
the
will not
Welcome
regret
to
it.
series.
You will love it.
Yeah. Absolutely cannot wait. Okay, we got 2 more, folks. Let's move on. Our number 2. This is my personal favorite. Now, I'm taking a step back a little bit because this one's been my number 1 for a while. But Cartographers, this is a fantastic roll and write. Now, it's not quite as crunchy as the last 2 that I've talked about, but there's something to be said for that. I think this has been so influential in gameplay as far as polyominoes, putting polyominoes onto a score sheet. I think immediately of Phil Walker Harding's Silver and Gold. It's got similar aspects a little. But what this does it's in the role player world. So, you have role player, you have lockup, that wonderful world that Thunderworks Games has put together. This is set in it. And what really sets this game apart, I think, is the fact that you're scoring multiple things every round. And I love the fact that you can sort of plan ahead, but you're still focused on what you have here. So in this case, like the spring season, you have A and B. Then the summer, you go B and C. And then it comes back to A and C and so forth.
Yeah.
I love that. And what it is, it's a flip and fill. So you're doing the pulling cards for each season. And each one has a number. So when you hit a certain threshold, that's the end of the season. So you never know exactly how long the season is going to go. And I love that tension because towards the end, you're like, please don't have a big number. Please don't do a big number. And sure enough, the season's over. Like, darn it, I wasn't able to finish. And the thing I really enjoy about this isn't for everyone now, but I love the player interaction. The way the player interaction works here is interesting, where it's almost like it's a take that, basically.
Yes, it is.
A monster comes out, and you pass your sheet to the left or right, and your opponents will put a monster, usually smack dab in the middle of where you want to, place your terrain or whatever, and that messes you up because you're going to lose points for monsters. Now, you can, eventually surround them and then, take those minus points off. But I think it's a nice little touch to it where it's an added challenge.
It's a little touch. I'll agree with that.
It's not a little touch. It's a big touch. So it's a take that thing, but it does add to the challenge of this puzzle.
Definitely.
And that's what it is. I remember the first time I played it, it was at my local Strategicon with friends, a local convention in LA. And my mind was blown. And I love the fact that it was really easy to get into. But as you're playing, it's like, oh, this is not as easy as it seems. And I've always enjoyed it. There are mini expansions too that give you special abilities. You can see there in the video. It's a perennial favorite. I love it so much. Michelle and I are big fans. That's why it's our number 2, folks. Cartographers.
I can't fault you for putting that one on the list. It is brilliant. And as much as I dislike the fact that, hey, every once in a while, why don't you hand me your piece of paper? Right, okay, that's cool. How about I put this in the worst possible place to screw you up the absolute worst?
Yep.
Here you go. Enjoy. But that is a brilliant thing because they could have had some system where, things just get put down randomly, but then chances are somebody would randomly be hurt more than another player. And so what better way than to bring in the actual players? It's certainly interactive, and if you don't mind every once in a while just getting to put the ultimate monkey in the wrench of your opponents, then it is brilliant. Plus, it is really fun to be able to draw because it encourages, hey, when you put a village down, actually draw the little houses. You don't have to. You could just do it a letter, but it is very nice. And so I appreciate a lot of stuff about it. I just wish it didn't have that cold, hard, backstabby heart at its center.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the reason why it appeals to me, because so many of the roll and writes are very solo-ish, right? You're just doing your thing. This actually introduces player interaction, which is truly player interaction. You're literally writing on someone else's sheet. So I do like that, and I love the fact, folks, you can check it out on BGG or whatever. People color their maps, they'll use different colored pencils. Michelle always uses different colored pencils, and her map looks like a Tetris board. It looks beautiful. Me, I'm writing. I always call my terrain little mushrooms and stuff like that. They don't look like anything like houses.
It's a Smurf village.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's a fun game. Definitely check it out. Cartographers.
I agree. It's a good call. It's a good call. But
thank you.
Not the best. We saved the best for last, folks. Number 1, and I'll be interested to know if Ruel agrees. As far as I'm concerned, the number 1 best roll and ride of all time to date is the Isle of Cats Explore and Draw.
It's so good.
It is so good.
This is so good.
Now we talked about this earlier about how Dinosaur Island, Rawr and Fright did not cut corners. Said, hey, let's take everything that was in our big cousin board game and just put it in without compromising anywhere. This game, that's not the case. A lot of the stuff from one of the heavier card drafting games out there, the Isle of Cats, has been stripped away and streamlined. And honestly, I think that was a good choice because this game, what we're trying to do is rescue as many cats as we can from the Isle of Cats as fast as we can. And those cats come in the form of really intricate, crazily shaped polyomino Tetris pieces. This is not a game where you're just putting down the square and the L and the S and the L, those same ones over and over again. No, you get all kinds of crazy, I don't know how these cats contort into the shapes they get into, but it's a blast. And what you're trying to do is pick the right right ones and squeeze them onto the deck of your ship as best you can, while trying to hit certain goals, like make sure the cats eat all the rats on your boat, make sure they get into certain rooms, because as you're going along, not only are you drafting to get these cards that have more cats that you get to add and try to fill all the holes and all that, but you're also drafting for objective cards that come up too. And all of a sudden, once you grab one of those, I need to have 2 lonely cats on my boat. 2 cats that are not next to any of their fellow cats of the same color. And suddenly, if I see that, can I do that? Do I take that? Because here's the thing that's so brilliant about this game. It is an entwined drafting game, like the Welcome To series. You don't just on your turn grab 1 card, you have to grab 3 cards from a row. That every time you play, these cards are going to come out randomly, and sometimes like, oh my gosh, I so desperately want that objective, but I don't want either of those cats. I can't fit those cats in. They're not going to work. I want those other cats over there, but there's no good objective, or I still get stuck with a cat that's the wrong color. And so you're constantly throughout this game having to make very, very tough choices, very tough compromises. And every time a new set of cards comes out and everybody's like, okay, but I'm second player. Am I going to get a chance to grab that, or is something else going to go instead? I'm not quite sure. It's brilliant. The tile laying, or in this case, tile drawing, is so far above and beyond other ones because of these incredibly complex geometric shapes that feels closer to a jigsaw puzzle than any other polyomino tile layer there is. So that elevates it. But even more, the incredibly tension-filled draft and the huge amount of variety with all the different objectives that you may or may not grab every time you play makes Isle of Cats Explore and Draw one of the best of all time. And if I think it's in my top 50 games of all time, it's great.
Yeah. A wonderful choice, and I cannot fault you for putting it number 1. It's just everything about it is fantastic. You know, the fun story, Frank, who designed the game, actually started this during the pandemic as well. He took
really?
Isle of Cats. Yeah, he took Isle of Cats and made a print and play version of it so we could play it online together, and then eventually that evolved into Explore and Draw, which I'm so happy about, because you're right. This takes Isle of Cats, streamlines it down into its own wonderful game, and yeah, highly, highly recommend.
Okay. Well, that's it, folks. That's a top 10, and I'm pretty happy with it. You picked several of the ones that were my near runners-up. I probably picked a few for you as well.
Yep.
But we're not done yet, folks, because we're about to go to the extended edition, where we will continue, because I own 25, you own 35. We have a lot more roll and rights to talk about, which we're going to continue in the extended, which you can check out by hitting that I in the top right corner screen, or go following the show notes. Also, remember those technical difficulties we had earlier? You can actually see the whole uncut thing where I was so shocked I actually cursed live on camera. Yeah. Probably the first time I've ever cursed on my show. Shocking. So if you want to hear it, you want to check out the extended. Or if you just want to hear some more of our favorite roll and writes and flip and fills and all the rest of it. But before we get to that, Ruel, did you hear it, audience? Did you hear either Ruel or myself say the secret word crutches? Right?
That's right.
So, folks, my foot's bummed. Your foot is bummed. We both need crutches. But the important thing is, did you hear one of us say crutches? Because if so, the game we were talking about, send that in an email as the subject of the email to contest@rahdo.com, and you will be entered to win a definite candidate for top 10 roll and write of all time, as far as I'm concerned. Sponsor of the show, Sagrada Artisans. Phew. Okay, Ruel. Did I miss anything? Is there anything else to do?
No, I know that going into the extended show, we got a ton more games to talk about. So, folks, be sure, you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to click on the link below for the show notes and get that extended edition to hear about more roll and write games. This was a fantastic list. I know we're both fans of the genre.
We love them.
Really, yeah, it was really neat to see, us try to dial it down to 10. But
oh my gosh, it was hard. It was hard. I could have easily talked about 25 games today. Easily.
Same.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Well then, folks, thank you, as always, for watching. Thank you, Ruel, for helping me keep this show on the rails, the Railroad Inc., as it were. And finally, thank you to sponsor of the show, Sagrada Artisans. Have a very, very nice day, everybody. Talk to you later. So long. Bye-bye. Boop. All righty.
Okay.
Boop.
Cool. Wow.
Oh, our friend who shall remain nameless. That was a good one.
That was good.
I was just like, as soon as I saw it, and normally that was lucky too. And I know what he wanted to happen. What normally happens is I don't see, I don't push the go button until after you've actually said, so that I can have like a proper response. But because of this last minute thing where I was having to follow links, I'm like, oh crap, maybe this is not going to go right. I'll load this one early just to be, so I won't be surprised. But I was surprised in a different way. So while you were still doing your intro and stuff, and I'm like, what do I do?
Hey, gotcha.
Is this and my first thought is, oh, it's a mistake. Oh my gosh, what if they're all mistakes? And then, oh wait, what am I actually watching? And who sent this to me? Of course.
Right. Oh my gosh, so good, so good.
Oh my gosh.
Friends, we are in the after show now, the post show. Thanks for sticking around with us. We've got now it is actually past 2:00, but I'm okay with going a few minutes late if you are.
Yeah, let's talk about some more. Well, I mean, we did Q&A up front this week instead of at the end. Yeah. All right, and I'm sorry, folks, if you did send in questions, we will save them until next week. Okay. Yeah. Although, actually, no, not next week. Next week, what is next week? It's me doing the podcast. So, but we'll be back, I think, at the end of the month. We'll be back in a couple weeks together.
Yeah, the 27th is the final Tuesday of the month. We are doing the regular R&R show.
The regular R&R show. So we'll be back, which means, folks, you actually have a little bit more time than normal to find crutches, which, oh, by the way, I loved how that was awesome.
Oh, cool. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you.
If folks, you didn't hear, if you ask me in the DM, hey, where was Crutches said, I recommend you go and watch anyway, just to hear how smooth that man was. It was a thing of beauty. All right,
much better than me jamming it into Kubito.
Yes. So let's see. We just did that was my top 5 and your top 5. After that, number 6, Castles of Burgundy, the dice game. Number 7, Let's Make a Bus Route, the dice game. Number 8, Rawr and Right, which you already did. Number 9, Rolling Realms. And number 10, Twa Dice.
Twa Dice. Okay. Yeah, nice. Yeah. Mine, Gone Sean Clever, which I mentioned a little bit. Long Shot, the dice game. Actually, the dice version of Long Shot. Yeah.
Think of it. I'm surprised you love that so much. How did that not make your top 5?
It was really close. Another one. Now, this is a super light game, but I had to throw it on here. Super Mega Lucky Box from Phil Walker Harding, because I love that game.
It's nice. It's wonderful.
It's super light. It is super light.
Too light.
My other one, On Tour, which you covered, of course, and then another one, Isle of Cats, Explore and Draw.
Okay, so that was in your top 10. Yeah.
We got to talk some honorable mentions. Ones that didn't make the list. I've got to talk about Twilight Inscription.
Which you have yet
I have this feeling it's going to make my top 10, but I haven't played it yet, folks, as we talked at the start of the show. So
I don't know. I've heard kind of mixed things from people who have actually played it.
I've heard mixed things too, but I'm going to go with the side of the mix that says it's awesome. So that's where I'm going.
I hope
right
so.
Now.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so. Hadrian's Wall, is that?
I'm sure a lot of people expected that. Honestly, I would play Three Sisters over Hadrian's Wall, and that's nothing against Hadrian's Wall. It's absolutely brilliantly done. But actually, it's interesting. Both Hadrian's Wall and Three Sisters, both of them had Jen saying, "You know what? That's just pushing it a little far. This is just getting silly."
Okay.
And so we ultimately ended up not keeping them because they just, for her, it's like, okay, I want my roll and write to be a little bit more streamlined, a little bit more elegant than this. I don't want to take notes. I don't want to be doing homework to fill a sheet in.
Yeah. The other one I wanted to mention that not a lot of people know about is Saint Malo. This one.
Oh my God, I haven't thought about that for years.
Do you remember that game?
It's excellent.
I feel like it was like sort of a game changer. It was like basically a Euro game, but a roll and write. You built up resources, you built up your wall, and then you had the pirates attacking you. I eventually moved on from it, but I think it's a wonderful roll and write. That
Inca and Marcus Brand, I think, were the designers on it. Brands.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think it gets as much attention that it deserves.
Yeah, and nice that it came with pins and dry erase boards as well. They were kind of at the forefront of that.
Yep. Totally.
Good call.
So, and then the other ones I wanted to mention, these are the classics, Yahtzee and Quicks. Yahtzee was the one that started. Quicks, I think, is a wonderful version of Yahtzee, like a modern take on it.
Sure.
But Yahtzee, honestly, I'll still play Yahtzee as a solo
Yahtzee holds
game.
up. Definitely.
Yeah, it totally holds up. Now, multiplayer, I wouldn't play it because there's so much downtime, but solo, I think it's wonderful.
Wow. That is weird. Let's see. So if we were to just keep going, Riverside was next. I know somebody asked in the chat.
I thought for sure you were going to put Riverside.
Riverside is fantastic, but Avenue is, at the end of the day, better. And what makes both of them so great is that tough choice of, oh, I can score this now and it'd be great, but I'll be hurting myself later. And they both kind of do that in different ways. Let's see. Oh, Trails of Tucana, which is kind of an alternative to Avenue as well.
Yeah.
City Trip Bruges. I think it's great.
Oh yeah, that was a great
We just played it not too
yeah.
long ago, and I think it was fantastic. I really was impressed by it. Voyages, the thing that has now we are getting every week. We're getting more of these. Hey, back us for $2 in our print and play thing. And Voyages, I still think is the best of the bunch. Railroad Inc. is my number 15. Again, preferably yellow, but I'll play any of them. King Domino Duel is really good as a 2-player only roll and write.
Okay, yeah, I have not played that.
It is better than King Domino, quite frankly.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
Yep. Rogers of the Ganges, the Dice Charmers, Get On Board, although at the end of the day I figured, which one do I like more? Get On Board, which is basically Let's Make a Bus Route reprinted. I still like Let's Make a Bus Route, the dice game, better. Original Welcome To, although Welcome to the Moon is so good, I think I'm going to be getting rid of Welcome To pretty soon, even though I got all the little thematic things. Oh, hey, by the way, thank you, Chrissy, for subscribing just now, and thank you, I'm sorry, we were filming live, Lumen Party of Raiders. I apologize we couldn't say hello when you were there. Hey, hopefully some of you stuck around and watched the rest of the show. Hopefully somebody explained that we couldn't chat while we were doing stuff. But thank you for the raid, Lumen. Man, I can keep going. Oh, Boomerang. Boomerang is a travel game from Scott Alms. Yeah. It's done in several different countries. It's great.
Oh my gosh.
Rolled West. Wow. Escape Roll and Write is hugely important. As far as I know, it is the only cooperative roll and write out there.
Yeah.
And it works well, but it needs more than 2, unfortunately.
Yeah. And actually, there was a game that came out last year, Titania Ascending. That was a cooperative roll and write. Right?
Oh, is that out yet, though? I only played the prototype. I don't know if it's out yet. Here. Yeah, but you're right. That had a very good co-op mode as well.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. It's not out yet. Yeah.
Well, we can keep doing this.
I got Kabuki had a comment, which we should really talk about. Any opinions on Roll Through the Ages? Sort of an important one in the history of Roll and Write. I remember Roll Through the Ages.
Roll for the Ages. Why is it not on my list?
That's wrong. That was Matt Leacock, correct?
Yes. Designer of Matt Leacock knocks out the park with Pandemic and then revitalizes Roll and Writes.
Yeah.
Where's Roll Through the Ages? Roll Through the Ages is my number 216 on the list. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Hopefully it wasn't in my top 5. All right. What is my? All right. What's that? Where is Avenue? Avenue. Okay. Okay. In the list I just said, one of them should have been Through the Ages, which is fantastic.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It does have a little bit of screwage because I've rolled some skulls. Now I want to keep rolling skulls so I can hit you instead of me.
Yep.
I had more patience for that kind of stuff in the old days than I do these days. But it's still really brilliant and great components.
Yeah, those big chunky wooden dice are fantastic.
Oh, I see Kabuki asking about Burgundy dice. I did mention that was literally my number 6. Number 5 was Avenue, number 6 was Burgundy, the dice game. And I almost put it into the top 5, but I'll be honest, it would be for nostalgia. It'd be because of the theme, because it does evoke Burgundy. It's still really great, but it wasn't it wasn't as good as Avenue, On Tour, Pandora Merchants, Welcome to the Moon, or Isle of Cats. It's literally number 6 on my list.
Yeah, I love the Burgundy dice game, but it's definitely not like top 10 material for me or top 5 material, but I do enjoy that version.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Oh, I see somebody mentioning another co-op roll and write. Uranus is a co-op. I've not even heard of that one. I'll have to check that out. Thank you. Hopefully that's not our friend making a new account and trying to rickroll us again. Just because he wants to hear me say Uranus or Uranus.
Oh my God. It's got to be a troll, no?
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay, we have gone over the limit. Thank you, everybody, for going on this trip with us. For the 50th episode, the first time on my channel, people can catch me swearing. And so it's a real milestone. Let's see. So we need to raid somebody. Do you see anybody you like, Ruel?
Let's see. Let's look under the board games category. We have our friends, the Losers.
All right. Haven't raided them for a while because they've just been MIA.
Yep, and why don't we? Yeah, you know what? I think they just came back into streaming. They took a little time off, but they're back full force. Yeah.
Did they have some plumbing problems?
Hopefully they didn't, because I know all about that, and I hope I wish that on no one, honestly. But yeah, let's rate the Losers.
Okay,
if you
cool,
don't mind.
cool. Looks like they're playing some kind of race game. which is
Oh,
certainly
cool.
appropriate. Be better if we'd done it last week. Be great if they're playing a Roll and Write right now, but still, they are just wonderful. And if you're lucky, you'll get some 99 Luftballons as part of the raid. So, folks, go raid them. Use the new Rahdo raids through icons and all of that. Tell them we sent you. Let me find the button. Oh, it looks like a parachute, and it is Luzapal. Boop, boop. And go. All right, so now the countdown begins. Wow, it's a long countdown. 6, 5,
Raid,
4,
raid.
3, 2, 1, go. And please work. I'm always afraid it'll work. It's only ever twice. Oh, hey. Oh, we had a hey listen. Oh no, I missed the hey listen.
Oh. Okay,
well,
we rated.
Whoever wanted to hey listen, my apologies, folks. I'll go check it out afterwards. But enjoy the loses. It looks like the raid has gone through. So, Ruel, we'll see you in, I guess, a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right. Good luck, man.
Thank you very much. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.